we'll actually drop a link. What is going on, Mike? Scott in the world as I see it is in the actual house. All right, guys. So we have a few things going on today. And what it's going to be is we have two stories. And one is going to be an update on Mark Thornton. Okay. We've had this stuff for quite some time. We've just been covering other situations and other expat drama going on in the Philippines. And let me get the story about. Did you guys hear? Where's my phone? There it is. The no panties actually mentioned by the Philippine government. Have the actual story here, so we will cover some of that. Did you guys hear about it? It was kind of odd. They asked people, women urged to skip and not wear underwears. So, did you guys hear about that one? So that was like a real thing urged by the Philippine government. So they've been going into the news talking about how hot it is here. So they recommend that women don't wear underwears. And so, and the reason being is for the women's flora, like the sweating and all that. If men sweat, their balls off, it's one thing. But if the women do, then they end up with like yeast infections and all these other different things. So, but it was just weird because we were going through the article and they literally mentioned the actual not to wear underwears. And like, okay, well, you can wear cotton ones if you guys don't want to go commando. And I was like, what the F?
All right.
So it was hilarious.
For the guys here, honestly, again, some of you don't know what flora is. Flora is the natural defense mechanism of females. Normally, that's what the terminology used for. Females have flora, aka bacteria that live in their vajayjay. And again, for those of you again who are not aware, because again, I'm sure
it was odd.
I'm sure some of you don't know what that is. And again, it's a natural defense mechanism and it protects them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what flora is.
It was just weird for me. And George is like, you kidding me, right? I said, no, they're recommending no panties Thursday, I guess. It's like, that's every day of the week. Mm-hmm. What do you always say? Easy access?
Well, you could always scoot it aside, just saying.
So it doesn't matter, huh?
No, as long as it doesn't get trapped in the crevice.
I'm not even going to ask what gets stuck in the crevice, you or the underwears.
I would hope so, anyway. I mean, free balling is not my style.
Oh, I was thinking of your, what do they call those little sausages or kikums?
No, well, okay. Oh.
You said that. Are you talking about the man bits or the lady bits?
No. Kikiam is not a sausage, and I would say longanisa, because longanisas are really tiny sausages here in the Philippines.
Either way,
they're Vienna-sized sausages.
So, ladies, don't wear panties here in the Philippines.
Trust me, longanisa is really good. Trust me,
ladies. I'm trying to get the link here because we want you guys to join the panel today. Looks like and I'm going to announce this in advance. Looks like the last live stream we had where we were discussing the other channel and her boyfriend and everything. Looks like she's piped down, like there's no more videos being put out or anything. So it looks like she's kind of over that rainbow.
Technically, we weren't really.
Well, no, it wasn't totally at her, but it became part of the conversation in David. And because I watched a few of her videos, a bunch more were fed to us. And I was telling George it showed their Christmas time.
It was more of David than the channel. Put it bluntly.
Yeah. So so it looks like they're moving
on
with that.
David is not the channel. David doesn't own the channel.
And actually, I see where somebody mentioned Kuya John again. He's more than welcome to come back on the panel.
Kuya John, if you're watching, which odds are you are. Again, we don't have anything wrong with you. Trust me. It's just
that's any of the guests. David can come back on too.
What I'm saying is, okay, we're not big. We're not. But you don't. What I'm saying is, you don't expect to go on Johnny Carson and cuss up a storm. You just can't do that. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things.
Well, yeah.
Even Howard Stern has his limits. You know what I'm saying?
I can only think of one expat that I would keep off this channel, and they know who they are. Just saying.
Speaking of expat, there's an expat. I think his name is Russ. He's in Manila right now. He's doing car stunts, sponsored by Subaru.
What?
Yeah, he's an expat. He's really good at it. He's one of those.
Did you see the NASCAR guy that won? He actually it's the second black guy that's actually won NASCAR, and I wanted to bring that up because they actually put. I'm not the one that brought in the what color the driver is, but it's an African American that actually won NASCAR. But you know where he got his start? And the best thing, he's good at video games. So I guess he was playing race car games forever.
I told you that. No.
Well, I didn't know if you seen the article. So it was
video game players again. Okay, first off, I'm not patting myself in the back. If you see me on Call of Duty, sorry for you. Trust me. But what I'm saying is, the reality is, since Heidi brought it up, is actually good video game players. Usually, it translates to real life. They have a good hand-eye coordination. Those of you don't believe me, again, the U.S. government put out a video game. It's still running. It's still ongoing, and the best players get recruited. I did get an email from the Army in U.S. Trust me, it's nothing new for me. This is normal. Obviously, I'm too old anyway. But yes, if you're a good video game player, odds are it translates to real life when it comes to handling, hand-eye coordination, aka cars, Army, Air Force,
so
whatever.
I thought it was actually pretty cool.
The U.S. government. You don't have to listen to me. It's the U.S. government. Fact. The top video game players do get recruited.
Yeah, I didn't know that till he told me that.
And I told that before.
I know they recruit
Heidi
farmers, and most of them
because
come.
we do. I mean, obviously, me and Heidi talk behind the scenes, but no, I told Heidi that again. That they do.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah, but he won. So, okay, so me and George was discussing. We've had in hand everything for Mark Thornton. Actually, we have a little bit more tidbits as far as what's going on with Mark Thornton. Every man has a story. And what it is that we sent it to some of our main members
already.
Right. So we've had, like, when he got banned, we were the first on the scene with that, which I guess it doesn't matter who had it first, but George made a point. It's who actually, would you rather start with a quarter or a half glass, full glass scenario?
It's like
we wanted to pick up more information.
If you're sitting in a restaurant, you want your waitress to pour you this much Coca-Cola in your cup. And
then keep drinking.
Worry. Yeah.
So you guys have been drinking the Kool-Aid from somewhere else.
I'd rather give you a story rather than a blip. And that's why our members, again, be a real member.
Yeah, subscribe.
Real members can attest to this because they know more before even before this live. In fact, they know more before even that particular vlogger said something. Because again, it's proof that, again,
sweet.
We want to wait till we have a better story.
And we do appreciate you guys subscribing. Like, actually, we're really ecstatic because I think we've gained like 40 to 60 people this week. And for us, that's very important. You guys do matter.
Important, and you guys aren't a number.
We don't, you guys are just a number. So just you're a number. I'm a number. We're all numbers, especially here in the Philippines. I just found out some crap about my immigration yesterday, and George is like, oh my God, we're about ready to run to immigration today, aren't we? Because we thought we were overcharged and a bunch of stuff had happened, which technically we probably were.
Mic test. Okay, no, the mic works.
Okay. Oh, did somebody say?
Oh, Sarah did. It's possible, yes.
Is all these adjusted right?
Okay, now be aware too, for those of you, again, I'm not pointing fingers or anything, and again, be aware our mics are set up as right channel, left channel, meaning if you have your audio set to the right channel, you may be only hearing one voice. Or if you turn your dial to the left channel, you're only going to hear one voice. So I guess I'm not quite sure how it is on your end, but if you don't want to hear me, I guess you can literally turn this mic off and your mic off on your end. It's the balance, the balance. That dial balance. Yeah.
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 So if you guys haven't subscribed, it's very important. It's it helps grow our channel organically. And we just met up with our YouTube manager. And the funny thing is I'm laughing like, oh, get out, okay, because George took the meeting with her. And I'm laughing because they said here in the last few weeks our top videos were, and I said, of course I know who they are. And she was in her act. We have one for 6 months at a time. The last one was from the Philippines. She's like, Mark Thornton and regular guy. It was just hilarious to hear her say regular guy and Mark Thornton. And I'm laughing. And I said, so you're telling us to get the hot topics in the Philippines? I said, that is one of the hot topics. And I said, she's like, yeah, just continue the drama. So I was like, that's what we're going to do. So we will actually, I'm trying to see what the actual, oh, we're checking the audio. How is the audio? Oh, snap. So I want to let you guys know the poll rate. I want to let you guys know the poll. So how's the audio again? No, what I was saying, babe, is that's not the right upload. See, that's the orange one. The ending, I did add other stuff. So that means part of the video is still
That's the
missing.
newest one, whatever it is.
Okay. Well,
It probably didn't.
I'll have to go in and delete that, or it
Because
never got
look,
uploaded. That's okay. I'm
that's what
not.
I just said.
All right.
And
So
that's the most recent one. See,
it's already not there. I already put it in the drive. The old one might be in there. You need to go inside of the computer record. You're looking in there. I already downloaded it. It's in the
okay.
files. But anyways, it shows, well, the poll shows, are you guys team Mark or team
That's the one I
Dexter?
uploaded. Whatever that is.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. 20% said Dexter, 10% said Beanie Bear Mark, and 70% said I'm just here for the drama. Right? And that's why we are here, and we will get going on this. Tarzan watching from Bakerfield, California. Of course, we said Bruce Davis. We will add the link here in a minute and cover this. So we're going to play. Oh boy. Yeah, we did find out the internet is actually, they're supposed to upgrade a
Actually,
box, and we got a cable guy coming
We need
today.
a new modem. And here, okay. A lot of people say Filipinos don't do anything or stuff like that. Okay, I'm just saying. Honestly, they were trying to replace our box before we knew there was a problem. So, which means they were proactive. However, the only reason why we ignored these because there is a scam
There's
where
scams.
they would pretend that they're from
Cable company
their
ask for
cable
personal
company and
payments, send us money, you're past
right.
behind. But no, and it's not that we were like cheap. So like every 6 months we get calls and we keep paying. So we're paying the highest quality of cable here in Angel City area. But for some reason, when we went to 5G and some other things, the box didn't match. So they brought us a box. And since we've had like three, this will be the third modem they bring us here, right? We had the original, they brought another one when there was an issue in the third one. So anyway, so if it cuts out,
Speaking of
guys,
issues, okay, be aware that most of these freaking things come from China. I mean, I'm not downing China products. Heidi, what happened to the latest China product we got? Konnichiwa. Oh wait, that's Japanese. Ni hao. Ni hao.
his daughter came and the grandbaby came
Right.
yesterday, and we gave her a toy that we got. Well, of
Made in
course,
China.
well, I don't even know if it's made in
That's kind of
China.
like A, apple.
Right. It was supposed to
Apple.
be, and it's
B, boy. I'm just trying to.
it's like a lit up toy and everything. It's all in Mandarin and
Right.
on Chinese.
Yes, the toy, it didn't say on the reviews that it was Chinese. However, that's what we got. And unfortunately, I mean, it was brand new in a box. Me and Heidi are not going to play with a toy to test it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who does? Nobody does. They see a brand new in a box, they give them to brand new in a box. Wordings are in English and Chinese, of course. And then we give it to my daughter for my granddaughter. And then here's my grandbaby learning Chinese. They're trying to prepare
For
for
the
invasion.
invasion. There it is. Wow. I would.
No, I don't care. No.
Right. Okay. So who else do we have in the house?
Oh, Salem says, Kabalen. Hello from San Francisco.
And Bruce Cinder, pipe it down on the update.
Kabalen means
because this is going to go on for hours. You're just in here to drop in to see if there's anything actually different, and we're just going to cover this at a different angle. So
yeah, Kabalen means
the show will go on probably for hours, as it always does.
Yeah. So
it's like odd. Okay. Well, let's play the video that we actually have and actually put it all together. Okay. So, we will play the video and tell you what we know for sure and what could possibly happen. Okay. And what is facts. These could not be answered in other live streams about what's going on for Mark. We will actually answer what will happen because we have spoke to several key people that actually know what's going on, and we've spoke to people. We're not going to release additional documents. We didn't even really technically want to release what we're going to release now. It's already been released, but different angle. Okay. So we know additional information. Okay. And Mark should be very concerned at this point, and he already knows that. So much so he addressed in his live stream the other day about, I believe he called out his trolls in regards to it, and he's been putting it off. But word from his neighborhood is he is worried about this. He's losing sleep and he's stressed about it. So although you'll see him because he's on his live stream and people will drop something and then he'll be like, and then you'll see him take a second and he's blocking people that are coming in and confronting him. Let's just, can you play the video?
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm not doing it. You're gonna have me do
you should.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. This?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play it, and then we're gonna discuss what we actually have found for a fact. And the final document we're not going to display for big time legal reasons.
All right. So demonetized time. All right.
Right. That's another thing.
This is the reason why we don't usually play these type of stuff, because this is demonetization.
Well, there's no blood, there's no nothing, but
still,
yeah, there's a good chance that this will definitely get monetized from talking about it. So
Island, like Soylent Green Island. Well, not that deep, but anyway.
Right. It is what it is.
All right. So be aware. Well, we'll play the video and then we can rewind and go with whatever happened. Okay. Now the original audio clip of this is actually the staff. And I'll get into that after I show you the video. All right.
Yeah, as far as someone brought up the ground zero video, I'm gonna respond to that. I know it's a troll, but that was edited. All they showed was.
All right. Obviously, the big guy with the hat is Mark, and that's Dexter, literally in front of him.
That's not Mark. That's not me.
That
guy is huge. I'm a big ass BIT.
That's the first thing I noticed.
George's like, oh my god, he's huge.
Oh my gosh, he's huge. I mean, he's like a Hulk. No offense to him. Again, I'm just saying he's a huge guy. He's big, tall, big. So he's got some weight to him, which in a fight it does help.
He's huge.
And
by the way, you can see the players there.
Justin and Dexter assaulting me inside the restaurant. That was like a 5-minute
video.
He
threw the first punch and kicked him when he came out that door.
And those guys come over to me and start screaming at me and threatening me and wanting to fight me. And I said, let's step outside. And when we went outside,
They
that knew he
won.
wanted to fight. That's what he wanted. He wanted to fight. So we went outside, and yeah, threw the first punch. Somebody's got to throw the first punch. But yeah, they started it. Justin started it, and Dexter started it. And I'll swear to God on that. So yeah, you guys can slam me all you want about that, but because the video was edited, it only didn't show anything that happened inside the restaurant. It just showed, me outside when Dexter would walk outside and I hit it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so here is the report. We've had it for a while. There was a police report actually filed, and there is the ground zero notification that we posted when we knew it, and we talked to ground zero. We have talked to ground zero again as of yesterday, and he is still permanently banned and never allowed in there. That's why he's been doing his interviews other places. But the word on the street from other expats and other Filipinos that actually see Mark, he is very arrogant when he walks around. He's rude to staff. A lot of people don't want anything to do with him. These are things that are allegedly going on there in Dumaguete.
Be aware that the notice actually specifically states that he cannot be rude to the staff, which means he is rude to the staff.
Right. So they actually have banned him for multiple reasons. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. And on file, there are charges filed against Mark Thornton.
There
So
are.
it's just not. Do what?
All he has to do is give the Beanie Babies to the guard, and they'll
You
let him
hush
go.
up about the Beanie Baby. He ain't getting out of jail because of this.
The Princess Diana Beanie Babies a get out of jail free card. Just saying.
So he is still banned from ground zero. He still walks around with a chip on his shoulder. He's definitely got charges filed. This is only the police report. We have in our possession that he has actually been,
Yeah, actually,
a
no.
case has been filed.
Dexter is holding the door open. That's when he hits him right there. It's like a sucker.
No, he kicked at him first. If you watch him go out,
it happens really fast.
he's holding the door
He
open.
has okay. First off, fighters by default will size you up before you make the first move. But watching this video,
And we've added
sorry,
the link
Mark,
for you
if you're
guys to
watching,
join.
anybody who does martial arts will say you don't know squat, and the reason being is your first attack is very amateurish. Anyway,
Hey, Violet.
he
Good
threw
morning.
the
Hey,
first-
Ted.
the first punch / kick.
No, he did.
You
He
did.
kicked
you did.
him out the door.
It's really fast.
But if you watch, you'll see
Pay
his foot.
attention. He punches and kicks him at the same time.
If you see the second half of the video,
And,
you'll
yeah,
see where he's
once-
kicking.
Right, once he passed the door, yeah. Because remember, cameras don't record everything. They only record 30 frames per second.
Right, but
I'm
you
not-
can see on the
right.
other side
the-
that he is.
The outside camera, it'll actually capture the kick. In this particular scene right here, because this is the inside footage. The inside footage doesn't show the kick, but remember,
And there wasn't, according to
Right.
Mark, a 5-minute
different
amount,
frames
and he
per
wasn't
second may have
attacked
captured a
inside.
different frame. Or okay, here, pay attention the moment it shifts to the outside camera. There is a kick. Here it is. All right, it's fast. Watch.
See, he kicked
He kicked.
as he came out, and he comes
No,
swinging.
it happens so fast, but remember, cameras by default only capture 30 frames per second versus in real life, you guys see 120 frames per second. So our eyes are still better than any electronic device on earth. So what I'm saying is, if you're in real life, you were there, you would see that kick. I'm just saying, it doesn't mean the camera doesn't show it, doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, the biggest thing is there is a case filed against him. We're not talking just the police station. You're only seeing the police report filed. There is a case.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mark.
And we're not going to show you that 100%. Okay. So we've had all this stuff. We had direct calls. We have everything. We wanted to make sure we had the entire thing before we covered it again. I thought we were done with Mark Thornton. But evidently there is a case that's no longer rumored. So where does this put Mark Thornton allegedly? I'm going to tell you where allegedly our perspective, okay, being as I see people covering perspective and
Well, it looks like Rogan is going
S-
to be an
say
emeration.
right. So it's everybody has a right to cover it in their own way, and it's what we actually are doing, multiple things on our channel. And I believe, okay, Bing's he just got married and he's definitely probably still on his 13A probationary. Okay. When he goes back in to reapply, that will cause a major problem for the second part of his permanent
Right.
residency.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. Again, I'm not going against you. I'm just, again, the funny thing is forget the cameras. Even if there is no camera,
Yeah.
Mark Thornton put it out on his own YouTube.
That he
what
did hit
did.
him. He said, I punched him because
Right.
what is it he said about him inside in the audio? He said that he was
Oh, well. Okay. As far as the actual audio of the film, I mean, I can release it, but it's very inaudible. You have to sit there and like.
no, what did Mark say in his own words? Because that was just his words on a live stream. We played Mark's live stream from just the other day. This was after I think Andy Omar
Right.
about the same time. Mark's been live for the last 2 days. And then he wanted to address the ones that have been covering it. I believe he even mentioned Andy Omar at that point. And in saying that, he said that he was I don't remember. He said he was attacked or something. He was. You don't remember? Okay, I would have to hear it again. So you told me to type it out, but I didn't type the word out that he said. He had it mixed
Okay.
up.
He said the word assaulted.
Right, assaulted. He was
His
assaulted,
words.
not insulted.
His words, not
That was what I couldn't
not-
remember it.
Yeah, his words, not ours. I'm just again. I was. I mean, the other guys have to realize we go through a lot of footages, and when Heidi says, this thing he said, and we're like, which one?
Mhm.
That kind of deal.
Well,
he
it
said
looks
assaulted.
it looks like Dexter. Okay, it looks like you could see where there was something going on for sure, but Dexter was holding the door open. Mark kicked and punched. He
No,
already
he
admitted
did.
that.
And again, I mean, I don't care what you guys say or anybody, but by opinion, again, even as a fighter, there's still okay. Put it this way: you guys ever watch a tournament when it comes to fighting? They always say, "Go." What I'm saying is,
He didn't even have
eat
it. He
exactly.
didn't have a chance.
There was no go. He's like, okay, because I get it. It's a street fight. I put air quotes on this because technically, even though it's a street fight, there's still etiquette. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
are we
Mark
far enough
Thornton-
in? We're far enough in for me to call him a pussy ass bitch.
Correct. It's one of those, dude. He opened the door for you. Obviously, waited, but you didn't. Again,
He did, yeah, and the crazy part is there's a few things. One, there's a good chance he will be banned from the Philippines away from his new wife and his new baby. Secondly, I mean, it's like he's a pathological liar, and I'm going to call him out for that. And the reason being is I really don't know a whole lot about the man, but he just keeps spilling one lie after another, and other people listen to this, and we're not talking about little ones. It just shows his whole character. As in, one example is telling people about Social Security, and he's still going on about the baby's Social Security. He's talking about that he's just going to make a few phone calls and the money will get turned on. That's the way it
right.
works.
Eric says sweep the leg, and Michael Haney says 8-year jiu-jitsu first 10 seconds turns the outcome. Actually, you
Wow.
normally, well, I wouldn't agree with the sweep the leg. Sweep the leg means you sweep. Sweep means it's really not a kick. It's a swing. You swing your leg to knock him off balance. Normally, I would say no because of his weight. However, pay attention. Mark, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man. You don't have balance.
He just
Because
keeps telling, I don't.
Pay attention right here. Okay, he fell down by himself. Dexter didn't do anything. The reason why he fell down, because honestly, Mark,
Because he's old.
No, well, no. That old age has not. Age does, but he doesn't have fighting ability,
Uh,
and that's what Michael
Anyways,
Haney
I'm talking about
says.
his lying ability. So I'm talking about that, but we're talking about the other little white lies. Like he's got a baby that's only less than a week old, and he said the baby sleeps all through the night. Well, to me, that can't be possible because a baby breastfeeds every 2 to 3 hours.
Some do though.
No, I'm sorry. There's no baby in the world. That baby needs to eat every couple hours, and if not,
No, I get that.
I'm
I,
sorry. He said already the
I.
baby's sleeping
Okay,
through the
well,
night.
first off, okay, if you want to be technical about it,
I'm being technically that he's a
again,
technical liar about everything.
technically, okay. At the age of the baby, no, we have to
He's a
consider.
week old.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
has to
just
gain
said.
weight.
You have to consider the context. Can Mark's baby sleep through the night? Odds are no because of a newborn. But again, everybody knows who's had kids before. You have to train your baby not to wake up in the middle of the night and
Yeah, which
cry.
happens at a couple months
Correct,
old.
correct, and that's what I'm
You can
getting.
feed them so they're not hungry all the
Yes,
time and
but
they've gained some
babe,
weight.
that's what I was saying.
You don't
Is
starve a baby
in
for 8 hours.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In context, a newborn baby won't. Right. But what I'm saying is when you say, "Oh, a baby,"
Some of the things he says like creepy. He said his 30-year-old daughter that's autistic, he remembers she had a special smell, but his new baby only smells like baby formula and something else. It was some of the things that comes out of his mouth is weird.
well, technically he's
But
correct.
the okay, well that's fine.
Technically,
But talking about the smell of his
it's just
baby was
odd
odd.
that he would
The smell of
state
his
that.
baby.
Yeah. Well, the
Um,
smell of baby.
but in this case, there is a hard case that's been filed with the courts. Okay. So with all of this and that, and he doesn't have his permanent residency, he's only got his temporary. That's a probationary. Soon as he comes back, they're going to run another NBI check on him. And when that NBI check comes up, Mark,
it
guess what? Checkmate.
automatic. It's the first one, yes, and then
Checkmate.
that's whether you're actually, especially with a Q1. If you're honestly, if you're a tourist visa, the probability of them saying,
Who's
"All right,
in the
whatever,"
house there?
but once you go into K1, then they'll be like, "Oh crap! Obviously, you can't behave." You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. Mark can file a case too. Here's the thing. It's already been, let's see, February. It's
Well,
been
Mark can
60
file a
days.
case, but
On what?
well, that's what I'm saying.
And if he didn't file a police
Evidence
report,
goes against him.
well, here's the thing. He didn't even file at the police station. That's a 60-day mark. It's a little late to go back and say, if you don't show up and show injuries and go to the hospital like Dexter did and file with the police, they're not going to accept him now. So Mark will not be able to file a case in the Philippines.
Well, either way,
I mean, he could try to hire attorneys to go after him on a personal side, but as far as a case that can cause a problem, it's too late for that.
all his beanie babies, I think, can fit in one luggage, so I think he's okay.
He gave them to his baby
No,
and
he
his girl.
didn't.
Yes, he did. He said that was her
What?
inheritance, and he said that out loud.
Inheritance. Oh, $40 for the most rare beanie babies that he had in his collection.
It's a possibility,
$40.
just facts. He said that he doesn't feel that he would be deported. It's foreigner against foreigner.
Okay.
I
Will
disagree.
he
There'll be a
get
case on file is the problem.
Well, here's the thing. To be technical, will he get deported? No. However, it can lead to, meaning it's kind of like this. Will they deport him? Odds are no. However, will he be able to renew a visa? That's the real question. It's not a question of
I'm actually coming and taking him
Correct.
away.
It's
But
not-
when it comes to his permanent residency, that will be a problem. And here's the other thing. You can't get an SRRV either.
correct.
Okay. So you have to get a background check for
'Cause
that.
now
So
he has a record technically.
So can he? Yes, that means he will have to go back to a tourist visa and do the 36-month thing. Okay. And leave the country and come back in. So
if they'll allow him, because again, the one, it's going to show in his NBI. Two, the moment he
Babe,
steps
who's
up,
in the house?
Huh?
Somebody came in. We have a guest down there. I didn't even check to see who it is. Oh, somebody was there. Okay. There was somebody who popped up a minute ago.
yeah, and again, well, I think they click on it back because I see it a lot more than
Gotcha.
Yeah. No. Odds are, again, will he get deported flat out? No. But when he does leave the country, there's a chance they'll deny him at port of entry. And again, will they deport him? I'm going to tell you right now, probably no. Okay. So again, like I said,
Huh? Oh, the rest of it? Well, I can add stuff in throughout it. There's not, that
No.
was the update. There's an actual case file and with a
I'm
breakdown.
talking about what's going on here.
No, I'm done. You talking about side news?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
we're going to start answering comments.
Okay. Pablo. Well, unfortunately, okay. Now I'm not picking at you, Pablo. John is very generic name. Unfortunately, that's what I was getting at. But
It's Kuya John is who they're
yes,
talking
I
about.
understand
Yeah.
that, but
If he comes on, then we can actually
okay.
discuss it. This live can go
Technically,
any
is he
direction.
welcome? Technically, yes. But is his verbiage, meaning Kuya John, if you're watching again, nothing against you. You just literally cuss out a storm. No, nothing against you, but it's not something we want to be associated with. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right?
Associated.
As in potty mouth, stuff like that. All that.
Well, I mean,
See,
I don't mind being a little rowdy. It's just a matter of F
but
this and F that. I mean,
it's still YouTube, and it's not.
we
We don't own YouTube. If we own YouTube, there's a difference.
no, believe me, this would go a whole different way if we weren't like killed on every single penny of monetization and be a different horse, or we couldn't lose the channel.
Let's say
Always a
even if
possibility.
the video's demonetized, still, not to mention we really do have a YouTube manager, and they do watch. She does watch us.
Yeah, we already said that.
Yeah.
We mentioned 3 reasons. 1, we're not even going to lose the $10 for the video. Number 2, it could mess with the actual channel.
Yeah.
3, our family
Hey,
watches.
Rich Rex, how you
4,
doing?
there's a lot of different things actually going on. So,
Bruce says, I'm just here to hear the latest news. And speaking of Bruce, here's Bruce, guys.
hey, what's going on, Bruce?
Not much. Drinking some vitamin water.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I missed
You
that.
feel-
I
you-
used to drink that every day. Now that you mentioned it,
Are you feeling better?
Oh yeah, I feel good. I just needed a little boost.
So what's your opinion on the old Mark Thornton situation?
Well, to me, it looks like the camera doesn't lie, and it looks like Mark started it. They were arguing back and forth, but it's looking like, words were said, and told Dexter to go out. Obviously, we all seen the video of what happened.
Right.
And
No misunderstanding there.
Right. The guy was punched.
Mm-hmm. Kicked and punched on the way out the door. He didn't even wait. It's not, if he just would have casually went down the stairs and they still were out there talking and arguing for a few minutes, and then punches were thrown or they went after each other at the same time. Because there was another vlogger that put out a video this morning that was talking about perception and all of this stuff, talking about there could have been some other stuff. Maybe somebody was having a bad day. And I get all that. But sometimes when you see this many facts and all the videos and cases being filed, and then him telling on himself, I mean, can there be a different side story inside of Mark's head? Maybe there's some dark voices, or who knows? But like we said, it is what it is.
Okay, and if we're all gonna look at the big picture here, do we all have any facts or anything that Dexter, what's his name, Heidi? I can't think of the guy's name. The diver shop guy.
Oh, Critter Hunter. Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah, Justin.
No,
yeah.
he's
Nice
there.
guy. Yeah.
Do you have anything that says, because Mark can sit here and say one thing, Dexter and his buddy can sit here and say something else. But
right.
What it seems to me is he started it.
Yeah, the guy on the very left, you can see him getting up from the seat. The very left, there's a guy sitting down in the very left of this video, and then there's this guy standing up from that video. That's Justin.
Yeah, and there were a couple people over there, and the full video, you just kind of see where they're kind of talking now, whether they're yelling or
Yeah, so
what
you
they're
can see Justin
saying.
walking up.
Yeah, because at that point it was getting heated, but at that point it was per Mark that he said, "Hey, let's
Right.
go outside." So they went outside.
Yeah, and for those of you again, just show of perspective again, be aware that the Justin and Dexter were closer to the camera, which means they should be bigger, but Mark is farther away from the camera, but he towers over him. Just telling you the size of Mark. He is a tall, big guy. You can see he towers over, and he's the farthest from the camera. Yeah. So
Hey, Ruby.
and here's the thing we do have the video, of course, with the real audio. The audio actually states that Mark hit him, Mark punched him, that's what they said. And also
Right, the employees there
yeah,
have
the
been
employees were
talking.
talking about it. And also the guy says, oh, he hit him in the eye and then the mouth. I'm just letting you know what they said. I mean, obviously they spoke Filipino language, but that's what they said.
Word around town is this isn't the first place that Mark has had this attitude, or staff members, because it's a small area. Regardless, it's not like
Right.
New York City or something.
And
So he's got a demeanor about him around town, allegedly, with other Filipinos and other expats. And we forgot, on a side note, he's allegedly an ambassador liaison. He
yeah,
just
okay.
appeared with the
He
U.S.
is,
Embassy
but
there at
it's
ground
bad
duty,
representative.
or ground
Now,
duty,
also,
ground zero
another
duty.
thing on Dexter's defense. You guys from watching this video, first off, I stopped it right the moment after Mark clocked him, punching him and kicking him at the same time. You can see the frame where his head recoils back. But pay attention. It's not a fight, guys. Dexter was trying to stop the fight. Pay attention. Dexter was not there to fight. He's trying to stop Mark.
And
watch. Here, watch. He did not intend to fight. He was
he
trying
grabbed
to
him by
restrain
the
him.
head. Yeah,
He's trying to restrain him. You see that? That's restraining.
And he did that at the door.
Right.
And what you guys don't know is there's a good chance, from the Filipinos talking, they actually said go outside because it got pretty heated. Did you see Mark throw his arm up? He was already heated. And the letter stated that it was his behavior towards the staff and the fight that he's not allowed back.
Yeah, those are restraining.
So all
moves,
kinds of
guys.
side stuff that
Those
we've
are-
been hearing from the
Those are
staff
defensive
members.
and restraining moves, not a fighting move. Dexter did not.
We
intend to
called
fight.
ground zero several times and talked to people.
George,
Yes.
here's my problem. You had it okay where he's at the door. Why did nobody else even go towards Mark and push him away? Dexter was
They're
hit once,
probably
hit twice, hit a third time, and then then Mark falls back. They're tussling. Dexter goes down, they're tussling, and that's when his eyes.
Yeah, and see, here's the problem. That's where the police would get involved, because we just had the stabbing up here on Walking Street. It happens, believe it or not, on the occasion. Nobody gets involved, not expats, whether it's expat with expats or, because it's the same there. Nobody's stopping it because they're afraid of getting in trouble here.
You know what? I just thought about that, Ivy.
Yeah.
And
it makes sense though. Like I told George, if we were back in the US, it'd be on like Donkey Kong over about 100 different things. But when you're here, he should have double known, with the baby on the way and with his wife and a liaison for the embassy that he bragged about and everything. And he's still, whether you have 1,000 subscribers or 1,000,000, you still have a public responsibility to still behave, because you are still on camera. And everything that we're discussing, besides talking to a few people and getting some legal documents recently, it's all been put out in public, so he's put himself out there on display. And we said, just like the David guy that came on running his mouth about his girlfriend bringing everything to light, Mark brought all of this to light himself. He's the one that brought it up. Most people wouldn't even known about the fight had he not put the video out that he got in a fight. And I'm like, what the F?
Well, yeah, it went and talks about it, but you know, again, like you said, maybe nobody knows because nobody wants to get involved. So yeah.
Here, 1 second. There's an audio issue.
Yeah, you got the problem. Yeah, the audio.
You think that's his audio or ours doing that?
Who's it? Mine or?
Okay, can you guys hear us or both of our voices shaky? Yeah, see, when we set this setup for our live stream, it's done separately. Like we have it on a rollaway table, and then I use it to edit. He uses it to edit and different things, answer comments. But yeah, it's just crazy. Guys, we've put an actual link for you guys to join this live stream. It's been a pretty good live stream. The last couple live streams will be on for a little bit. Kay Dallas, thank you so much for that, for the super sticker. Super sticker. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support, guys. It really means a lot. But yeah, like I said, we seen where Andy Omar did some coverage, and Andy is, me and George was discussing that, you know, people see like Andy Omar and people like us putting out the drama, and there's a few other channels that cover it, but they cover multiple things like we do. And Andy does the same thing, you know, and you get the haters and everything. And then it's like, it's kind of like that oh well thing. I was telling George, I said, I think people want to hear it. And like men, you know, Andy does put a lot of stuff out, like, but like me, I run on my emotions as a female. And I was telling George, I think people like to hear that stuff. Kind of like I was telling George, like, it's kind of like, you know, I'll say that shit. I'll be like, damn, it's hot. Oh my God, look at those snakes. Like, I will just say what's on my mind situation. And the same with this. And this is what makes good conversation, is letting people on the panel where they can actually talk about like how they feel and everything, and talk about different things. And again, it reminds me of the old days where people used to call in the radio stations and stuff, except for we got video this time. And it gives people a chance to voice their, you know, their thoughts and everything. And the only difference is there are some that we've had that have come on with a bunch of F words, and we don't mind like some occasional cussing, but like we had the one where the audio came through and it was like F this, F that, F this, F that. So unfortunately, those people cannot come on anymore. And if they come on and they promise, then maybe. But
yeah, gotta respect the channel. I mean, you can't. You know, I get it. People get heated. Hell, I said a few things, but I wasn't trying to say it every word. Now, again, it's something that we got to learn being out here when we go to other people's channels. There's people that do not want cussing, and you got to respect that.
Well, we don't mind it. It's just that we work hard. Like, you know, I just did an intro, and that took me hours yesterday to put together that intro. So for us, it's not the $10, because people know here in the Philippines, you get very little money for actual YouTube. Okay. Unless you have sponsorship. We're not worried about sponsorship or the $10 for the videos. It's the work we put into them, and, you know, where we can actually have a chance of it being shut down, or it goes into a red flag. Once it goes into a red flag stage, it affects the other views of everything else. So it just becomes kind of becomes sticky. And plus, like you said, our family watches it and all kinds of things. But real quick, I'm going to address Nat. And he says expats have been fighting in Southeast Asia for decades. Boredom, alcohol, mental probes. Only difference now is that vloggers are milking it for views and money from it online. I would disagree on that it's milking it for views. And I know maybe you're not talking about us specifically, but I'm going to tell you what, our YouTube manager said, do exactly that. And the reason being is she said, do what's a hot topic.
Okay,
and in our realm, we've actually covered everything. Y'all wanted to hear from us when we were doing Expat Help. We helped a lot of people come here. We did a lot of videos. We sat here during the pandemic and showed things when nobody wanted to go outside the house. And now it's kind of switched up to all these interviews, being the country's reopened, or they show their lives, or every channel's got something different. If this is what brings views in, I'm about talking about the expats, no matter what the situation is, if it actually, in turn, there's something to learn from it. And definitely there's something to learn about it. And we're going to continue to cover it. And no different than TMZ covering celebrities, no different than all these other channels that actually, there is thousands of channels that cover just celebrity drama and gossip. So we cover expat gossip here. So we cover our lives. So we cover other topics. And if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. But you're here and you're welcome.
All right, to clarify, just so you guys know,
I'd rather.
to clarify, be aware that that's technically not what our YouTube manager says. What I'm saying is, I'm not going against what Heidi says. I'm not. The YouTube manager talked about statistics. She did not say specifically to do that, if that makes any sense.
She brought the videos up.
Okay, I understand.
The trending.
I understand that, and that's why I'm clarifying. And a lot of people take words or whatever the instance is and stick them with what somebody mentions. To clarify, the YouTube manager basically said, do what works, but not specifically do this, do that. Not, you know.
You mean like
Okay,
expat
well,
drama?
I just want to clarify when I said that you said to her that the expat drama is what's trending. She said stick with that. Did she not?
I know that.
Okay, so, and it doesn't matter. I'd cover it anyway. So
Again, she is talking on a statistical standpoint. That's what I'm getting at.
if it wasn't for the government
I'm
here
not-
in YouTube, I'd be saying
See,
a
here's
lot
the
more.
thing. It's not what you said. It's not what I said. The problem is there are particular viewers that hear something.
They can sit and spin and bite me on that. I get so tired of this
Okay,
perception, reception,
that's what I'm getting at.
conception,
But again, to clarify,
precipitation, conception.
what people hear
Barkication.
and translate, sometimes it's not the same thing.
That I don't care what
And
people
I
perceive
understand
anymore.
you don't, but they'll say, "Oh, Heidi said that the YouTube manager."
I
used to-"
used to worry about that, but babe,
It-
everybody has their perception
I-
on it.
That's why I'm clarifying.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't care what your perception is, guys. Again, reality is that what she said, she's talking a statistical standpoint.
Basically,
what's
she's
trending.
saying whatever is the hottest topic, you just go with, George. That's
Correct.
That's what you
Right,
gotta
right.
do.
And
Simple
so
as
because I repeated out loud to her, I said, so you're saying continue, because she read out in her Indian voice. It was so cute. And she was like, oh, she was like, okay, so regular guy and this Mark Thornton. I said, yep, that's it. Oh man, I was rolling on the floor. I said, she goes, well, these are some of the trending topics. I said, yep.
regular
hilarious.
guys, sex baby-roonies, and well, and then the Mark Thorntons of the world. What a
Right.
combination.
It is.
Well, that's another thing. The problem you face is now. First off, again, I'm not gonna completely rail on Mark. However, be aware that
Don't really, man. Don't be a chicken now.
Well, no. That has nothing to do with it.
You've already showed his face.
Well, what I'm saying is, again, be aware. I don't technically know the guy, and that's what I was getting at. I personally don't know him.
I
However,
don't either.
he does have somewhat of a record, meaning
Mm.
a lot of people don't
Disrespecting
like him
Filipino
in real
businesses.
life,
Well, let's talk about
Filipinos included.
right. And we did talk to some people in Dumaguete. And here's something by my own
I'm joking with you,
observation
George.
that okay, and I know y'all gonna say, and we'll hear about comments about this later, and I really don't care. But it looks like at some point he was asking people to send in medications and money for another
that one, yeah.
vlogger.
Okay, this actually happened.
And Monty Crew has a great channel over there with Paul, and I like Paul's channel too. Okay. And it looks like at some point he mentioned like what was going on, and he's done that for other people that have been sick. But according to resources and other vloggers over there, He didn't give up any of that money or the medication that was sent to him when he was asking. And so this is allegedly what was being said as far as his character and just the way he treats staff and walks around town. And even after the fight, they're saying he actually still was doing that.
And just so you guys know, again, we have a reliable, credible source. And again, we're not going to
Sources.
mention, we're not going to mention their names. However,
Yeah, that way if you guys want to report something to us, we'd
and
like
that's
to
why
know.
I said I personally don't know Mark. However, there are people who come forward and say, "Oh man, I can't even. Where do you want me to start?"
We're gonna have to open up a 1-800 PAN network or a
Well,
PAN
no.
line so people can drop information. That's what Messenger's for.
That's
Send
what
photos.
Messenger's
Hey, if
for,
you guys
right?
see Mark walking around town and he does something weird or another YouTuber, just message us over at Philippine Antics over on Facebook or Philippine Antics at gmail.com.
Just so you guys know, Mark Thorne made himself a target. I mean, I won't be surprised and if he's walking down in Dumaguete, turns left on an alleyway, and somebody like says, "Hey, this is stick up. Give me your beanie babies." Just saying.
I want all those beanie babies.
George. Oh my God, George! Now you're sticking it to old Mark now. Great job.
Right. He said, don't reel him back in. Right. He's out there drowned. Hey, that reminds me of like, I'll mention one channel, but another channel. Right. And I just heard him recently. They're like, it's like they start to insult them. And then they cover it up at the end by saying, "Oh, they're okay," and they do a good job. And I'm like, well, which is it, bipolar vlogger? Is it you against the person or for him? Or are you trying to start drama with your people just to, if you're going to insult them, just insult them, man. Or if you're going to say something, just say it. I get that there's like all this stuff going on. Don't say this, don't do that. And it's like, F that, man. But he's don't reel him back in. He's already out there. He put himself out there. Everything we're saying is credible sources, or else that's what we've been waiting for. Like I said, we put the letter out about his ground zero thing, and we've had all these other documents. As a matter of fact, we sent them to our people yesterday.
The real members.
We can't do a live stream every day.
The first,
and we were waiting for what we got last night. So
again, in all fairness to Mark,
I'm surprised he hasn't left
George,
to another island.
George, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay, you're Filipino,
right.
And I know that you're American too, but you're a Filipino. You were born and raised there. What about a business that you had? And
here,
I'm saying a business. You have a bit, whatever it was, coffee shop. I'm just like you. You're the Filipino business. You've got your employees. We've heard. I've only heard what you guys have said here. I heard what was it? The letter, something about him bothering, disrespecting the employees. Now, how would you feel when you've got people? Yeah, you want their business, all this and that, but what if it's reliable that your business could go downhill? People don't want to show up because this guy decided he had some words, and next thing you know, he's basically trying to rip the eyeballs out of another guy. That could, he might have, a few more minutes, he might have got into his eyes, and he may not be seeing anything. This would bother you and your business, wouldn't it?
Yes, and that's what. Yes, I honestly, if I were again, I'm shocked that they actually released a video. Because the business released the video. However, it's also possible they released a video to bluntly get rid of Mark. Actually, again, I said earlier in this live, again, the Filipino says he went after his eyes and punched him in the mouth. I believe that's what they said. I'm not well versed in Bisaya. I believe they're talking Bisaya. I have good linguistic skills. However, I think they're speaking Bisaya. But to the best of my translation, they said Mark went after his eyes and then his mouth, in their words. No, I would, again, flat out, first off, again, anybody who disrespects my staff, period. And again, I have been a business owner.
Yeah.
Anybody who disrespects my staff, sure, will I lose the client? Yeah, but you know what? It's not worth it. It's not losing an employee. It's not worth having an employee get degraded
or be afraid. And that's
Correct.
what they were. They said in the letter they were afraid.
as a business owner, I don't care who you are, whether you're the president of Abu Dhabi or whatever. No, you have to leave if you misbehave.
Yeah, he owned a business in the US for almost 9 years, and then he owns a technical company here. So that's how he does the YouTubing, the multiple channels, and the other social media, Facebook and everything, because we have a bunch of social media. So basically, he has a social media company. He helps YouTubers, everything. So his work is mostly online, like he meets with people and everything.
Right.
So he had one forever in the US, and he has a full registered paying taxes quarterly business
Yeah,
here.
and not going deep in my work history, by default, my work history is either I'm a manager or a trainer, which means I look over people and usually over 30 people. I'm not like a little tiny guy that
He
blends in the crowd.
Except for when he's literally tiny, he looks up to people because
And I'm not fluent in Spanish. I can only speak
Business, man.
Spanish only if I'm talking to a Spanish guy. Same thing with Filipino
about
when I was in the
business.
US. But I learned my Spanish because my first that's I have to shut this off on this side.
that is really weird.
All right. I learned my Spanish again is because my first job, one of my jobs in the US, my first day, honestly, I was hired in a mushroom farm, and they said, "Okay, you're in charge of 30 people." I'm like, "Well, 33 to be precise." And whatever. I was like, "Whatever. Okay, it's a cinch." Guess what? Not one single one spoke English. They're all Spanish. So no, I'm very familiar with taking
Here,
care
one
of.
second here.
I'm very
Somebody,
familiar with taking crew and stuff. So no.
one second. This just came in from, looks to be a Filipino. One second. We get messages in the middle of our lives. People like to drop little information for us. Guys, I put the live stream link up. Here's the thing.
Hey, Alan.
We're not going to have people on with the AI voices anymore, but we don't mind if you use just your photo, or if you want to put a teddy bear in there, we're okay with that. You can come on and just use your voice. You don't have to show your video, but please join up with the panel,
Yeah,
okay, for the full discussion.
Alan, you're welcome to join the panel, just so you know.
Yeah, that's everybody. That's Filipinos,
And thank you.
expats, and we want to hear from you guys. And there's no doubt we've always wanted to do these open panels. I'm going to reiterate, if you guys haven't subscribed, to please subscribe, share this live stream. We broadcast it through Facebook. We've been doing these live streams for a few years. During the pandemic, we've done it after the fact. And I can guarantee, being we're the only ones, that we're still at the top of our game here. So we are the only Filipino American female expat. And then if you add retired, that will take everybody else out of the game. So technically, I don't think there's any American female with a Filipino that actually vlogs here, because it's just a different combination, and that lives here and retired. So that does these live streams on the topics that we actually do.
not to
So, but
mention
we
they're
we
I'm well versed with American culture.
yeah, and well versed with the American culture, and born and raised here in the Philippines. So we'll go back through the questions until people actually join, and that way we can respond.
Yeah, actually, now you made a good point here, because some of you again, we're not trying to sell the Philippines as you must come here. No. We're telling you again. Most of the time, I say
I'm just here for the
any
cheap rent and the
country,
ladies.
Anybody, I'm very I'm not biased for the most part.
Do you want to flip to those questions and post the additional comments to the people, or wait until we go through some of the comments here? Because we have a partial other topic too, but we'll kind of wait and go through this.
That's up to you.
Okay. Well, let's go through the comments and
All right,
respond.
So, like I said, again, Nat made a very good point, and most of the reasons why we went to the Philippines is because this is actually a real thing. Because me and Heidi went through a stage. Maybe we should go to Kazakhstan. Maybe we should go to Vietnam.
We did.
Maybe we should go to Thailand. And here's the reason why. First off, Mexico.
chosen
Oh my
one.
gosh. Okay, some of you will say, well, all you have to do is cross the border. Okay.
Um,
Well, That's not a guarantee. It doesn't mean you can cross the border that they'll allow you nonstop. I'm pretty
Right.
sure there's a point in time where Americans who own property in Mexico, which you can, as an American citizen, you can purchase land in Mexico. But here you can't do it. But what I'm getting at is there's still no guarantee they'll deny it, because they do deny people
Well,
that do visa runs. Some of
right.
them, not all of them. Some.
But what was you posing the question about?
No,
I was trying to figure why you.
I'm trying to again state
Okay.
why we went to the Philippines again. For
Well, because your
example,
family's here
well,
also, and you know the
among
culture.
you're right, among other things, like I said, immigration is not that simple. Again, even
Yeah,
in
no.
Mexico, you can't always do a visa run. Some people get denied on visa runs, especially now. Well, especially now, I'm not quite sure. I can't vouch for that because it's heck, I'm sure, in the border right now. But Nat M says Thailand's talking about tax and harder work visa for vloggers. Most ASEAN countries going to follow. Correct. That may be the end of most vloggers, and that don't make even. But no, well, I mean, you don't do YouTube. Trust
Most
me,
don't.
don't do YouTube.
They say 60% don't make anything.
Yeah.
So, and most don't. You don't do it for the money. If you're starting the channel, you do it out of your heart, like we actually did. Now, do some flip to it? Like one of the channels we like, Chub Dub C, here in Angel City. Really nice guy.
Hey,
Goes works his
Hey,
butt
Ann.
off, and so does Ann and everything. But he flat out said it was for the money and that he's relying on it because he didn't at that time. I don't know if he's got a
Well,
check now, but
yeah,
it is his main source of
he's not
income besides
retirement age
savings.
yet.
Right. So you don't want to solely rely on it, because anytime the channel can be demonetized, it could be taken down for any small reason. And so you can't risk that. We've seen channels in business for years and it'd be taken for a small thing, and it was something that was out of their control. So you do it because of that. What is that?
It's Alan.
Here, I don't know why. Well, he just did it again. I'm trying to get the link for him. Is there any reason why? And somebody did a shout out to you, Bruce, because you come on here, and you know, it takes a special person to come on, and usually I mean that in the best way, there, Bruce. I'm special, you're special, but it's
You just called Bruce special.
Bruce is special.
Yeah,
You're
I
special.
guess. I'm special, and I got some weirdo in the comments that saying I'm boring. So why don't you come on up?
Right? They don't want to
Talking in
cam
the
up. They
chat.
want to, yeah,
You want to cry
Princess
and moan and be a
and
little girl?
King Warriors on the keyboard and stuff, but
Yeah,
none of them. They want to,
Talk
hey, get
about
on with the show, and
probably
until
create jelly
we. I'm trying to stay on the subject before we switch it over. I mean,
All right,
I'm not
damn.
going to run through my stuff. Oh yeah, well,
Mike, I can't put that up, Mike, early.
it was already insinuated about that.
But again, I'm not talking about Mark in particular. Be aware of that kind of behavior. Yes, it's kind of associated with that, which means judging from that, Mike's,
I need to
Mark's
ask.
behavior in public. Here's the thing. That's why I keep repeating. The problem you have with Mark Thornton. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? Again, remember, he's the one who put out whatever he said. In fact, I believe he put out the video himself.
Because I'm going to scream if this person calls again.
Okay.
Sorry. It's kind of important.
Okay, what I'm saying is a person who misbehaves and have violence in public, odds are he does it in private. So, Mike Early, I understand what you're saying. I agree. Odds are he is. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying the probability is really high. Now, Alan, again, thank you for your comment, but we're not going to answer the phone in the middle of a live. No offense to you. And that's why we said, if you want to join, go ahead, join the live. We do have a link.
Okay, so can you mute a second so I can tell you something? So yes, please join up. We're not going to do a video chat with you on the side in the middle of a live stream. So we appreciate it, but this is the way it actually goes.
Ruby made a point. Hey, Chosen, how you doing? Ruby says, if you're compensated and you live in the Philippines, then that means you're working in the country. Correct. The only time you're exempt, technically by law, not ours. I didn't make this law. Heidi did not make this law. BIR themselves here in the Philippines, IRS. BIR is the IRS of the Philippines. BIR themselves handed me a piece of legal document that stated if you're a resident, you're supposed to pay taxes in the Philippines. And here's the thing. The moment you get your ACRI card, you turn into a resident. I'm talking about legalities. I'm not talking about opinions. I'm not talking about stuff coming out of my butthole. I'm saying by law, the moment you have your ACRI card, if you're working here,
And you've
you're
been here a couple,
supposed to
which
pay
is
the
like at
country.
90-day. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. The only thing that's going to stop the exception of that is going to be, okay, and you guys need to check in with your tax laws, your country, and whatever you're actually doing and how long you're here. But in general, if you're here more than a few months, you acquire the ACR card. And most that we are referring to are the ones that have been here for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, and still vlogging because the country or working online. They're serious about that. And they drop something that all online workers, blah, 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 that are here, even if they're working remote, are still considered working here. You're supposed to tell your country back in the US and file certain paperwork that you're living in a separate country. Your taxes will be here. It'll be cheaper too.
Right.
But they don't want to go through all that tax stuff and getting a license here and doing all of that. So the BIR announced that all online and all that was to be paid here. That's what the other new visa is, the nomad visa that they plan to make, where you can apply properly for that if you don't want to go through all the business license and getting a TIN number here and going through all of that. You would have to actually wait for that nomad visa, which would give you 1 to 2 years to stay here legally. And it'd be like a work permit all in one, and your taxes will go back to your country. So they're working on that. That's why they're working on that. But they did announce, and we do still have that document that was given to George when he properly registered this actual channel and business license and his media and all of that that's what that is. So
Heidi,
yeah.
do you mind for like maybe a minute that I could say something?
Sure.
All right. So my basic little thing is you crybabies in the chat want to complain about me and you want to say stupid shit like I don't have a life. The funny thing about it is you're sitting in here. If you got a comment about the market,
Correct. He's got you on that, guys. No, they do this in every room.
It's pretty pathetic. You're gonna say that nobody has a life, which is just an old original stupid one. But when I said to call him, come up and talk about the market thing. What's your opinion? I asked George if he was a business owner, like simple as that. You're going to lose business owners because of some guy over words.
And it's funny that we're on to the game that you'll see where people will go into, say, Mike's room, Mike's Philippine journey, or they'll go into Andy Omar's room, or they'll go into Brian Philly in the Philippines live streams, or others that are out there. And it's the same ones. And some don't even offer panels. And it's the same ones coming in there that watch all of them. And sometimes it's like each one have something to say in each one, but yet they watch them all. So, but they don't want to say nothing now.
I mean,
and we're okay. We're really grateful for the views. And that's what it actually is. But yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't even about changing the subject. It's about Mark, what we're talking about here. If you got something to say, come up.
Right. You know? Oh, most live streams never stay on topic. I'll use Andy Omar's as you know, we watch Andy Omar. We like Andy Omar. His topic started off at Mark Thornton. About 10 minutes in, it switched to a bunch of other vloggers. He put them up on screen. It's a discussion. That's what these live streams have always been about. Rarely does anybody stay on the topic. And it's like, you know, that's just, it is what it is.
Switch up your topic. I'm just pointing out.
Yeah, no, you're more than fine. No, it did pertain to it. It most definitely did. And
well, that's another thing. Mark highlighted himself again, meaning the moment they start, the moment, doesn't matter what country, the moment authorities look at you in a microscope, that's the key word. They're looking at you. Now they'll probably look into his taxes and stuff.
Mhm.
Like
Now you
Brian
brought
says,
the taxes. What? So how? Okay. Do you? I don't mean to like
Hey,
switch it up, but
Pumpkin
you're
Joe's
talking
in the
about these
house.
taxes. How do YouTubers there get that when they want to live there? Because my friend in Thailand, his money now is being stopped. Google has stopped his pay. So
Yep.
how do you do that?
well, okay. In all fairness, the question is okay.
There's reasons they do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know the whole story, and that's kind of hard to determine on his situation.
If it's dealing with that he didn't update his taxes, yes, they can stop your
it,
pay.
yes. If
Recently, they told
I
a
see.
bunch of YouTubers, okay, like us, they had, although George pays the taxes here for the channels, he actually has to send documents to the US stating blah, blah, blah. Here in the last few months, they switched up that it'll be the Singapore office, which there is a Singapore YouTube office. Okay. They decided that they will hold it for Asia instead of the US. It's still the same company. They just switched over to who they were actually going to do that. So we received the same thing saying that we had to switch our Singapore stuff over. But they want a bunch of documents to go with it. George has a business license. He has his TIN number. He has a document, like 3 or 4 documents, and they're still fighting on that. They're like, oh, it's got to be this and got to be that. So if you don't provide the right stuff, 99% Singapore office will reject it. But unless he didn't have his taxes together for the US, then that's why they stopped his paychecks possibly. But there is still proper documents, but it used to be they just would pay anybody. But now they're getting into the legal point of collecting.
But if you move, it don't matter where you move to, Philippines, where you guys are at, Thailand, wherever it is. And if you're YouTubing to make money, because that's what it seems like a lot of people do, then you've got to go and to wherever it is that you have to sign paperwork for taxes, just like you would do if you work. You know,
Yeah.
you have to pay taxes, so like they take your federal, your state, but they've got to be able to, because
I know.
I believe on YouTube, isn't it? I don't because I've not been monetized, and I don't know if I ever will, but you have to sign papers so they can take the money out, right? For the taxes. Isn't that how that works? Don't they take for your guys, because you guys are monetized?
Yeah.
You're talking about the deductibles?
Yeah.
But don't they? But that goes for anybody. That could be you guys, Mark.
Right. No, there's deductibles. They'll hold all of that. But when you become a YouTuber, you have to, at that point, once you're monetized, they make you fill out all those tax forms. It'll do all that. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't get. You've got to fill those out. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to get paid.
Right.
And it's not easy either. It took us a while to get all that, unless you pay somebody to do all of that. And for the first year, we had the accountant when we got monetized.
Yes.
Because it got a little difficult.
Yes.
So we did our own business license, but a lot of them actually go through and pay somebody to do all that. But a lot of them will skip over all that. And like a lot of the Filipino YouTubers, and I'm going to call them out, they just use a TIN number and then they just give them that, and they don't register the rest of it as a business. But that's that definitely is another subject.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, it's an all-day thing getting a
It
business
is.
license.
It
I
is.
figured that
It takes a lot.
Yeah. Just to set up a business properly here in the Philippines, it basically takes a whole week. Trust me.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with
it took me 3
anybody if they
days, and
move
I already know what I'm doing.
there to that, to the Philippines or something, if that's where they want to live. My best friend Scott, his father had moved to the Philippines for a couple years and then moved on to Thailand, and now he wants to go back to the Philippines. He doesn't like Thailand now, but he has a residence. He's gone through all the steps for years. So
yeah,
like,
it gets a little tricky, each country and everything, for
right.
sure.
And just real quick, Hector Guba, I believe this is the second time he asked it. I believe he asked it last live. Hector Goetz says, did anybody know here what minimum amount of money you have to make before you have to pay taxes to the BR and expenses deductible? Yes. The best wording for it, I guess, would
About
be
5,000 US, but
not
you still
even-
have to,
not
what you have,
even. It's
it,
2,700 once converted. Once you hit
well, I
100
thought it was more than that. That was 250,000 pesos, but you still have to file. They still, see, that's just it. Regardless if you're under that bracket, a lot of times we don't even meet that amount. But we still, that's how we only make a
you
couple
have to
thousand a
file.
year.
It's
You
kind of like the
still have
US.
to file, and you
Even the
still have
US,
to
if you
register.
don't have to pay the government, but
LG.
some you don't, you still have to
You
file.
still have to go through the BIR. You still have to get your
Yes.
tax license and go through all of that. And like you have to go to get clearances. There's all kinds of stuff. That's why
Right.
they don't do it. And that includes expats.
Right, and it's a
L-
threshold. The
LG,
moment you
my
break that
friend just
threshold,
Then
just
you're
told
paying
me.
taxes, but you still have to
Yep.
register. Like there's deductions and all of that, but that's like a mess in itself. Hey,
Yep.
what's going on there, Alan?
Hey, Alan. What's up, MYK?
hey, Mike.
You're right.
And LG in the chat, I just wanted to tell you, my friend that's been in Thailand for 11 years, his Google just stopped his pay until he files his tax papers that needs to be, just like Heidi just said.
No, he
So,
has to, because
he
when you
has
sign
to.
up, you have to at least do the basics. They're not going to check and see if you're with the BIR or anything, but you do have to, like when you're in the Philippines, George had to send something. There's a different form, and I don't have it in front of me right now, that you actually file against the US stating, I don't live in the US and I'm not a US citizen and all of that. But even if you're a US citizen, you still have to say, let's use, for example, I'm trying to think of an American vlogger. Let's say, God, who was actually, okay, let's use Steve Johnson. Okay, great channel,
Steve.
Philippine Info channel. It'd be the same. He's here permanent. I think he's on an SRRV and everything. Same thing. He is supposed to file something to the US saying, hey, I no longer live in the US. I don't owe you taxes, because it is cheaper to pay it here. He pays a lot more, and we've advised other vloggers this. You pay a lot more back to the US, but you owe it here because he works and lives and everything else here. So he has to file that document with them with the taxes. And all of this is, we have to do that with George's t-shirt company. We have to do all of that, hey, although it's a US company, he owes the money to the Philippines. If you live here, then you're actually considered being here. It doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not.
Right. And Ruby, just real quick.
And you'd still pay your taxes back for your Social Security and pensions back to the US too.
Yeah, since we're still in the tax issue, can you file your tax return in the Philippines online?
Yes.
But don't you have to file first in person?
For any of it or the business one?
Oh, that's right, because most of them won't be having
The
a
business one we do online right now because he's filed before, but you can do online taxes here in the
Right.
Philippines, just like you can the US, and same here. You can file. We were signed up for Jackson Hewitt and everything else. Got to use a VPN to get to it. But anyways, back on the tax. Hey, what's going on, Mike? What's going on there?
Nothing much.
Yeah.
I need my apology, MYK. I need my apology now.
Apologize.
You
Hey, we said Kuya
apologize.
John could come on. Dave can come on.
Sorry, bro.
Stephanie, everybody's welcome.
I think John got scared on my private messages to him. So
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and Accountant Quarterly. We had it till I figured how to do taxes. I watched him and watched him and watched him, and then I learned how to do it. So I used to do all immigration, and I do all of that and taxes back in the U.S., and that's what we do
Well,
now. Is
Here's the thing. Again, I'm not picking on our.
and we do it manual.
I'm not picking on our tax guy. I'm not. The thing is, this year, do you have to pay for a renewal?
Oh, I'm not getting into that. Yeah, there's a new rule about not even having to do that. I'm not going to go through all that.
Okay, well.
But no, he says he pays a business accountant. No, but we were paying our accountant. It was 60 or 80 US. Yes, that's cheap to have a business accountant like that. But I'm like, why should I pay out 4,000, 5,000 pesos every few months? And so it didn't take a whole lot to learn it and use the previous documents to actually figure it out. So now we just go directly to the government website and file. So
Hey, Ellen, I heard you speak. However, it wasn't loud enough for the audience to hear you, just so you know.
what's going on, Alan? Can you hear us, Alan?
Wait. Something wrong with my signal.
Well, we can hear you clear now. Earlier,
I
I
will join
couldn't.
my friend. Wait.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hey guys,
Hello.
let me get back. Okay, I got a phone call.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Alan, how you
Yes,
doing, man?
ma'am. Sir George.
Nice to meet you, bud.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Sir George. Actually, my friend is want to talk to you. He's a Canadian. Me, I'm here in the Philippines. Right now, I will try him to join
Okay.
Oh, okay.
him. Okay, I will send him the link.
Okay.
Okay.
Because he want
Thank you,
to be a
Alan.
couple. You couples.
All right.
He is upon you. Okay.
Okay.
Come back later. Thank you. Kapoy kaayo.
The problem is he's chopping up.
Yeah, no, I see.
Yeah, and the problem is he's chopping up.
Yeah,
and
it's cutting
freezes.
out. You keep freezing. It's
me-
probably internet. Internet's
It's
really
an
bad right now.
Yeah, and we have we have internet issues right now, and we're paying top
Sir,
dollar.
I just send the link. I will
Okay,
send
thank
the
you.
link StreamYard.
Yes, please.
So brother Chin, he can join. He's from Canada. He's my friend.
I don't know.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Wait.
Sure.
My thing went out black, and then it just kicked me off.
Sorry guys. I'm not. Sorry guys, I'm not really good in speaking English.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're doing good.
You can speak you can speak
But I'm
what is
very
it?
much.
Dialogue, yeah.
But I'm very much understanding.
Yeah. Go talk to George, and then George can read it to us.
Well, that's what I was saying. He could translate.
No, yeah, I can translate.
Okay.
George can do it all, man.
Hindi,
He
ito yung
knows
live.
the language.
Gusto makausap
He's a
ng-
karate. He's Karate Kid.
Yeah, go back through the comments. Is that someone additional or that's just John or that's Bruce? It's hard to see when
No, that's Bruce.
okay, that's Bruce in there.
Yeah, it's me. Yep.
Chosen One says, correction, I haven't an ACR card in 12 or 12. But Chosen One, technically, I'm not picking on Chosen One. Technically, Chosen One flies in and out of the Philippines.
Right.
So technically,
if he's just on a tourist visa, we're talking about the ones that live here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and continue to work here.
Right.
If you come in for 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5
And then
months, they don't
leave,
see that.
They don't have
It's
to,
the
yeah.
YouTubers and the ones that are on Facebook, the ones that are on TikTok, the ones that are running actual businesses online that they know are living here and they watch it. So about 2 years ago, they start cracking down on that and they continue to actually do it.
Right. And again, Chosen One is a world traveler. You can tell from his whenever he contributes to the channel, the money changes, so we know like, okay, he's in Brazil, okay, he's in Guatemala, oh, okay, he's in Thailand. Yeah, again, ACR cards are for those who actually just stay in the country. Yes. Nat M says, had a friend in Bangkok that almost did get in trouble for day trading personally in Thailand. I do the same here in the Philippines. Pay taxes in my home country for it. Oh, okay. You're not paying the Philippines. You're paying.
Well, that's fine. If okay, yeah, you can pay back in the U.S., but you have to follow the country's rules. So as long as if your pensions and income that is not online initiates from over there. Like you work 6 months or more over in the US and all that, and you're doing all that, then you pay your taxes all back in your country. But if you guys are here living like most, we're just using the vloggers and social media people or anybody working, even if you're an online assistant. It's like that's the way it is. George paid his taxes in the US. The taxes are paid whatever country and no matter what job it is right now. It depends how long you're living in the country. And most of these guys are SRVs, they're permanent residents, and it's obvious who the people actually are. They're people that own all the different businesses. So at that point, yeah. But you pay your pensions back to the US. You pay the Social Security if they're taking you set up to have taxes taken out. And then here in the Philippines, if you're a vlogger receiving a couple thousand, you have to pay the Philippines. You don't get to. And I'm going to let you know that's another thing Mark Thornton has mentioned. He's already mentioned several times online that he pays his money back to the US for his YouTubing. And that also is against the Philippine law. He has said that over and over again, that he's been trying to get a deduction for Jen, but she doesn't have a TIN number. Well, it's going to take a lot more than that to get his wife as a deduction. There's a whole bunch of stuff that he has to do, like the baby. He keeps saying he's just going to call and have his baby switched on to Social Security. He told that the other day also, but that's not true also. So, nope.
Yeah, actually, Ted says, why are they filing in the U.S.? Is their income wouldn't count towards their Social Security earnings unless they pay into the system. They aren't going to do that filing in the Philippines legally or not.
Income would count towards their Social Security. It would still be that way. So that's kind of like that international law. I can't answer on that, but not everybody is judged on their if their Social Security shouldn't be judged on what income they make. Only people on disability and SSI, and they're not supposed to leave the country that long anyways. So SSI is the one that's based on no income ever in your life, which I call the welfare state Social Security. If it's Social Security SSDI, then you don't, that's not going to be based, but you're not supposed to work anyways. Regular Social Security, like Paul's getting, Old Dog New Tricks, it shouldn't be based on him making any additional money. So no, I've never heard that part of it.
Well, like
people on Social Security are allowed to still work and it doesn't count.
Right. And again, what may
It's
happen
different
to
types
one
of Social
person
Security.
may not happen to the other, even though you have the exact same situation.
So there's different types of Social Security and what it's actually for, but you still have to file separately.
Right.
And you'll pay less on that income. So let's say, like I said, some of these bigger vloggers with bigger numbers that are making 20, 30,000 a year, and that could be average from YouTube at this point on some of the bigger channels, not bigger, and someone around 80 to 100,000 subscribers with regular views. They could be making up to $2-3 grand a month with stickers. So if they're doing that, if they pay taxes in the US, it's going to be a lot higher on that, but legally they're supposed to pay it here.
Peach River says, I have been audited by the BIR and having an accountant deal with it all was nice. But point is,
that's great. Yeah.
He was audited. And again, did it happen to us? No. Will it happen to us? We don't know. So again, what happened to one person may not happen to the other.
Brother Chin still not in. Still waiting. Sending. Sir George. Hello, Sir George.
No, he's not in the room anymore.
Can you ask him?
He left the green room.
No, he was there, but he actually left. What's it? Can you?
Hello, Sir George. Wait. I'm trying to. He left. Okay, I left. Why? Brother Chin? I'm chatting him in Signal, Sir George.
No, I understand. He was in the room, but again, he left the room.
Okay, so it says, when I get back to the Philippines, I'm choosing in close by them because I have plans. I need to be close by I need to be
Wait,
close by them. I
he's
have lots to
sending a
talk
message in
about. See, he
signal.
wants to ask. I don't know. He's wanting to talk about moving back here, and
Don't know
it's
why.
not. So tell him that be on a different situation or something. We can't bring him on the. Am I muted?
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks. It would have to be at a different time.
Okay.
He's talking about moving back here.
All right.
Yeah. It would have to probably, I see what you sent to us, and that's what I'm reading. It's about coming actually back here. And a better, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean, not trying to be funny on that one, but what it is his friend, they came off of Facebook. His other friend is looking to move here, and both of them, it looks, I'm not trying
Well,
to down their limited English, but we're kind of on the topic of expats and different things going on. It's just not the,
actually, the English isn't the issue. The issue is the
I
signal.
just mentioned it. Well, it's in here
Because
too. We're not talking about a signal. I'm not going to give move
You
advice
guys
on
keep
air in
calling,
the middle of
man.
the
I guess they don't
expat
understand. Maybe they don't
conversation.
understand. I don't know.
well,
I
that said,
mean, you haven't even read through the
We're
comments,
talking
and
about we need places to stay, man.
I mean, I get it, but that's what I'm trying to say
I
is
mean, it is a
that,
topic, but not the topic that obviously Heidi
yeah,
and
it
George
says right here,
put
I'm
on.
trying to and live and want him. He wants to talk to you and work with Chen. He wants you to work with him on stuff. So that would be something. It sounds like he wants extra stuff on the side, guys. So that's what I'm going to try to tell him. No, babe, I'm sorry.
John Smith says Mark is rich now. Yeah, his
Aren't you,
video is not going
Ruby?
to
Aren't
make
you
that much money.
Filipino? Smile
Yeah, I
and be
would say
happy.
set it up
USA senior
tomorrow.
citizens can make
Yeah,
32K.
Gage Prepper says it's 250,000 peso
Yeah,
threshold.
250. Yeah.
So that's about 5,000.
Yeah, it's about 4,800 at
Yeah.
this point. Under 5,000. But we still file, and so far we only had to pay something like once, I think the first year, but we don't make 5,000 a year right now. It may seem like it, but we don't. So now other things are going to make a difference. Like I believe the PayPal and stuff is a different calculation, but you have to follow the rules of where the guidelines are on that. But you still have to, it gets kind of sticky. It's better to get the accountant. All right.
Right.
So I just told him we need to do this tomorrow. So he's asking about all kinds of advice and you helping him. I can't see.
No, I got
It's
it.
just
What
off
do
topic
we-
right now.
what do
So
we
Alan,
do?
he'll have to get a
Are you
hold
guys
of
on
us
mute?
tomorrow.
Right, and not during a live.
Right.
Right.
So this is total advice about moving and everything. And I don't mind answering some questions.
It's kind of not the right time.
Right. It's a consultation, Alan. So
Salem says Mark Thornton advocates gaming the visa leniency of Philippines. Well, no. I agree with you. Difference is YouTubers and TikTokers are public. A guy doing day trading on home and laptop via VPN isn't. Well, that's another thing. The thing is, the new laws are not adjusted yet in the entire world.
yeah, day trading. But I wouldn't leave that off the table 100% either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again, it doesn't matter what country it is. Most of the new laws
It's
don't.
still an online income.
Right. They don't cover online because back then there's no such thing. So the
But
laws haven't adjusted
They
yet.
specifically said social media, and that's not considered social
No, I
media, and
know.
it's a different tax
And that's
thing.
what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people give you the advice, like, hey, do this, because remember, that's their experience. It doesn't mean that's what it really is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In the old days, yes. In the new generation, again, this piece of paper that the BIR furnished me was literally about a year and a half ago. So it's a new law. So you can argue with me all you want, but that's the law of the Philippines. And, you know,
We're just going through some of the questions. And guys, we've put the actual link out there.
all right, Heidi, what do you think of what Chosen One says?
I don't,
Chosen One says the ACRI
I
card
don't
is
even
a
want to
scam.
get into that. I'm so upset with the Philippine government right now because I still think
I
that something's
I love you,
upside
Chosen
down.
One.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that you can't argue nor agree with you, if you know what I mean.
I almost ended up at the immigration office several times this week, but I
Ah,
just make sure if you guys go to immigration, I know you guys told us we were crazy for saying talk to a local attorney or do your due diligence and all of that because we did and I did know it and they still told me different stuff. And it shouldn't have rolled that way. And I'm not going to get into the full thing. It just means that my paperwork should not be where it's actually at right now.
yeah,
And I don't think we would have had to pay those initial fees. Supposedly, I think there's something else going on, but I'm
now
not going
in the
to.
U.S. Okay, I'm speaking my experience, not in ACRI, of course.
The
I'm talking
immigration
about
office has their
I'm
own
talking
set
about
of rules.
the U.S. equivalent of an ACRI card. I show up about once every 5 years, and I pay an average of, I believe. Okay, don't quote me on this. It's probably different now, obviously. I believe I pay $250. Okay, but that's every 5 years, and you break that down, that's nothing. But an ACRI
Oh,
card,
look at them sea
um,
urchins.
yeah. Again, I'm not. Again, the moment you come here, you'll see exactly why Chosen One said that. Said this.
Well, and I'll be real quick on what happened. On my billing buy-in that I came in on, it was good for a year. At the 1 year, I should have been able to renew it for, I think it's 2, 4, or 6 months at a time. Now, allegedly, it was supposed to be a smaller fee, and it should have just been an extension fee every time. Instead, I insisted on it, but it was during the pandemic. The girls, it was a half empty office. They actually told me that, "No, you turn to a tourist visa." I've been on a tourist visa ever since, which costs more money, and they made me pay 15,000, and that's not a person we paid. We paid them at the office, along with the express fees. We heard that if you tell them you don't wanna pay the extra $20, which, okay, if you need the $20, that's different. You're not supposed to pay that either at Angel City. But they all charge everybody the express fees, and they have you wait a couple hours, but I guess if you insist on no express fees, you come back for it in a few days or something, but you pay the express fees, but they have had me on a tourist visa, and I told them over and over again, I said, "I'm supposed to be extending my billing buy-in." The fees are supposedly what, according to the site, was supposed to be 500 to 1,000 for each extension because you're married to a Filipino and you came in with them and all of that. Instead, they've been charging me tourist fees, and I insisted every time. I just stopped doing it. Plus, my problem is they made me come in every 2 months. So that was my problem. I should have been coming in every 6 months. "Oh, no, we don't do 6-month extensions here. We don't do those extensions on Billig
Now, be
buy-ins."
aware,
So
every
that's my
office
problem.
is different, and that's the
Correct.
problem.
So, and
In fact,
It's how they train them and everything. Well, in fact, we had the proper marriage
Well-
certificates from the beginning. It's the one they let us in the country with,
All I'm
but they
saying
wouldn't
is,
take that either for the 13A.
in fact, while we were there, an expat from Longapo, I guess he was just visiting Angel City, and it just so happened that his time
Mine
was,
is the 2-month visit.
well, what I'm saying is again that his time ran out and he's still here in the Angeles. But he says to us, they don't do 6 months here, they do it in Longapo.
Right. So they used to do a 6-month years ago. But here's the thing, the Billig buy-in, their own laws state that it doesn't matter what office. It could be an extension office, it can be any office. But they told me that if I ever wanted one, I need to go to Manila. But I found out the whole time the Billig buy-in, they should have done it there in the office. It's just the rules that that office makes. Also, other people have filed their 13As, the temporary, and then on to the permanent, and they just took the regular old document they had. So we had to pay a couple hundred US just to get ours apostilled the way they want to. So it just depends. So that's when he mentioned the ACR card, I kind of like,
No,
I kind of, it's a sore nerve
topic,
because
yes.
I hate going to the immigration office now
You'll
because
feel that
it's
way once you arrive here.
now it takes a while. I mean, it's not a long while, but where it only took 10 minutes, now they make you take a number, and we were there for 2-3 hours just waiting in line the last time.
before they did that, ironically. Well,
Right.
not really.
So, and so they have me under a tourist visa right now. So I found out I could have done the 6-month. I thought so, but I kind of like, oh, okay, I guess it does go to a.
And the reason why it's slower, for those of you who are like wondering, well, now they have a number, they have a system, it should be faster. No, incorrect. The problem is because now, let's say back then, if they're serving number 87, okay, and number 87 doesn't have all their it together, okay, and for example, they don't have money, cash, because they only take cash there. If they go to the ATM, back then, before the number system, they'll set that paperwork aside and says next. Now it just sits
Right,
there,
you just
and they're
get
gonna
like.
wait for the guy to come back with, if he needs it.
Yeah, they
missing
go to the
paperwork.
bank and
the
everything. If they go
bank,
get photos,
now they're
they
stuck on
hold,
that
right. They'll sit there
number.
for a half hour
Right.
waiting for the
So
next.
back then they were like, okay, I'll wait for this guy.
But
Next, but now
tourist is tourist, and I get that. But she told me, and we sit there back and forth. I said, yeah, but I'm not downgrading to a tourist. I'm still considered an extension for the Billig buy-in. She goes, no, you're not. You're a tourist now. And I'm like, okay. So, and then she was like, okay, 14,985 pesos. I was like, why so high? Because you owe us for a tourist, ACR card. And I'm like, and then you owe us for the tourist fees. I'm like, what the heck? So it just got weird all of a sudden.
right.
And now I just found out that it could have been 6 months at a time. And I thought that's what it was. But you guys know how, like any channel, you'll see it and see it and see it. But then I confirmed it with a couple channels that actually do it for a living, like they do nothing but those topics. And then I contact someone else. Oh yeah, we can get you an extension for your Billig buy. And here's the thing. I don't have 6 months left, so I'm not going to, I've already just renewed my extension. So it's like, what the hey? So it just got a little weird on me, but there's nothing you can do here. So if you overpay here, or they, you tell them you're doing the right paperwork and then they do that. And if you pay somebody for it, okay, an extension, instead of it being 3,000 peso, turns to 12,000. I'm not paying 3 times as much to have somebody push it through there. And they do have an office there that'll just go over there and do it, but you have to pay them a lot of money. Just like the 13A, how much did they want? 60,000 when it's only 12. I'm not going to pay 60,000 pesos when it's a 12,000. So
remember, the price may vary.
Yeah, it could go up from there. And that's JRC's price. So point is yeah, I guess I could have if we would have just paid somebody, but.
Right. Just real quick question and a real answer real quick. Again, I'm not going to put it up because of YouTube rules, whatever. When it comes to gambling, casinos, line betting, lottery, all that kind of stuff, the easiest answer is this. In the US, okay, because most of you are in the US. They're probably in Australia again. Well, I'm not quite sure because again, I can't vouch for Australia. But in the US, the winners of these lotto, gambling, bingo, whatever, for the most part, honestly, I'm not saying it's right, but most of them don't report it unless it's a big, giant winning. Same thing here for the most part, most people don't report that unless
No.
it's a big giant wedding. Just real quick again, that's all I'm saying. I mean, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's legal or legal, I don't have a say in that. Again, I'm not the guy to,
All right, further down, LG is back in the house. He says, "Why not you and George just fly out to East Malaysia for less than 100? Well, I doubt the hotel rooms and the whole works is actually only $100 total, and then start the process over again because we want to file the 13A because I plan to live here forever.
well,
And my health, okay, right now, being out a couple days at a time right now has been, I mean, up to I started cutting out and eating better and losing weight and stuff, it wasn't a possibility as of a few months ago. So now that we're up to the point and we're filing, there's no reason for us to do it. So that would be why, because literally I was pretty much, I can only go out for so long. I mean, I haven't had to use my wheelchair in a few months either. So that's just it. I'm wheelchair bound and traveling long distance. Well, that wouldn't be long distance, but that's still more than just going to the mall or something. I just,
well,
because
I
of
mean,
my lupus and everything, it's just been rough.
right.
That'd be the biggest
And
reason.
remember that's our personal reasons. However, for most of you guys, regardless, be aware it's still a visa run. And
And we have
again,
animals, so even
well,
by 2-3 days, we can't. The animals were the other reason where there were
I know that.
multiples.
I
But
know that.
hey, Mike, what's going on?
Okay, again,
What up?
hey, Mike. Again, it's still a visa run, and what I'm saying is, visa runs are limited to the borders are open, which means because again, if the borders have closed before, and you guys know that, and two, your age. Most of us and the ones viewing us, odds are they're older, which means eventually visa runs are no bueno for you in the end.
Okay, so they're getting almost the whole conversation is in taxes, and I said that's one subject
Hey,
I
Mike,
don't like getting
check this
into.
out.
Hey, check it out, Mike. He's got his
Okay,
daughter brought him strawberry jam from Baguio.
Yeah, I'm not done with
What
strawberry
was
jam. Only grape jelly is the best jelly, but the peanut butter.
Strawberry from
like
Baguio
that.
is really good.
Yeah,
But to answer the gambling stuff, so just to let you
Yeah,
guys know, in the Philippines, like for me, like I won like 25K once in the slots. They actually withheld 20% of it automatically. So I think there's a certain limit where if you, I don't know if it's like
Oh.
12,000, 15,000 or something like that pesos, they withhold 20% for taxes automatically because they don't trust the Filipinos to pay it. Because they get there saying the Philippines, they are every year it's negative, I think like 500, 600 billion pesos are not paid in taxes in the Philippines each year that people don't report. So they're very strict. So when it comes to casinos in the Philippines, they're very strict with that. Like
right.
those
Yeah.
guys are strict. So I think it's like either don't hold on to it. But I know over 20 they already just withheld 20%. So I'm gonna say maybe between 15,000, I think it is, where they will just automatically withhold 20% from you automatically if you're either a foreigner or local.
Right, and that answers your question there, California Bear. Again, like I said, your statement was very broad, so I didn't answer it specifically. But yes, for example, if you won bingo in a bingo hall, that's a different story, But
Yeah, no one's gonna report if you're playing bingo
yeah,
or
exactly.
yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, everybody does that in the U.S. as well when you do those private games and stuff like that.
So what do you think? We're going to get into another topic because I'm glad you're in the room. But
What's up?
real quick, your thought on the Mark Thornton thing and an official case being filed aside the document showing there was a police report. And I don't know if you've seen us play that video and some of the stuff that was
I've
out,
seen the
but
videos. I mean,
yeah.
but if you watch the videos, Mark was sitting down. I don't know who he was talking to,
Yeah.
and that Dexter guy got up first and approached their table.
hmm
Okay, so and if you guys notice, Dexter went like this, Mark went like this, They walked out.
Mark actually pointed out first. He was the one that, and he said that he
Okay.
insists on going outside. Yeah.
So right there alone, that's you they cannot.
Yeah, we can see their
Like-
argument. There's no doubt on that
Yeah.
one.
So they took it outside. So Dexter was stupid to open up the door.
Yeah, he was holding the door open, and Mark come kicking, man.
Not really. He got up, he walked out, grabbed the door, and faced it. So then Mark just like socked him, right?
Yeah.
You can
So-
see on the other side, we put both footages back to back. He
Mhm.
literally on the coming out the door, he was kicking at the same time as he was.
As he should
So
have.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So okay, so here's the walking out the door.
They said, "Get your hands off of me."
Door open, turns
Oh,
around,
Okay, so he
sock.
opens it,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
boom.
So yeah, that
Yeah, right
was
here, boom.
you take it outside.
boom.
There you go. Bam, he goes down, and he doesn't look like he's handicapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. and
I'm sorry, he's
remember-
walking fine. It was a
Yeah.
fight.
Well,
he got the better. They got the better of him. So and everybody who has ever been into like a street fight or whatever, you win some, you lose some, and that
right.
very
No,
moment,
there's no doubt.
his attempt to want to be aggressive, whatever, you stand up. He stood up. That's aggression right there. That's understood as aggression. He approached his table, right?
Yep.
So they took it outside. He got his ass beat. He got his eyes poked. He got his eyes gouged. He got kicked. So in the end, several things happens here. Just because he's the one who's got the visible marks. Okay. Mark did throw the first punch. Okay. So he can go ahead and file his charges.
Which he has.
Which he has. And and at the same time is if you're willing to be aggressive, if you're willing to get into that scuffle instead of backing out and de-escalating the whole situation, you'll have to be aware that you must also be accountable for whatever happens next.
Yes.
So if Mark
Actually,
is saying
both of them, because I mean, is it too late for Mark to file something? Being he didn't go get any of his scratches checked out or file
That's too
something
late.
with the police.
yeah, if he did not do a
Yeah, 'cause
medical,
it's been 60 days.
yeah, if he did not do his medical, he's done because you have to get your medical within I believe 48 hours upon
It
the
is.
incident.
Yeah, it's I think
So-
48.
So in that case, he's done with that.
That's
He
what I
can't
thought.
claim self-defense. They're both the aggressors,
Mhm.
right? So there's no such thing as self-defense in any of that stuff. He pulled the first punch. That's why in any case, a lot of guys will be aware of this. It's like you have to let the other guy throw the first punch.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're gonna get caught, if you're gonna get whatever, you have to let the guy throw the first punch. And so
Except
that's
for when it comes to a lady, because
For
you
the-
want that to happen.
no,
Better
you
just
wanna,
leave.
you want to get. That's the thing. If you're willing to get into a street fight, you have to let the person throw the first punch. There has to be visibility where people can say he threw the first
Well,
punch.
Well, I'm just backing up the guys here because then the ladies will say, "Oh, he's been doing this for years, or he did all this to me, and I didn't do a thing." It's just best to walk away from her.
All right. Paige Pepper made a good point here. He says, Anna blotter is not a case. For those of you not aware what
There's
blotter
a physical case.
means, blotter
That's what I'm
is
saying.
a police report. What Paige Pepper is saying is a police report is not a case. He's correct. You can file a police report. Doesn't mean it's going to go
Correct.
forward, right?
There's an actual physical case that's been filed, and I
Correct.
will not show the document that's been sent to me.
Right. But there
Yes.
is a case. Yes.
Yeah, so
we've
if it's there-
we've had all of that stuff for a while. We even had that for a little bit. We sent that to our members, some of our main members, and our actual people that watch the room and everything. But
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
So-
the thing though is Mark can get blacklisted for this. This won't be a permanent blacklist. He might get blacklisted only for 6 months, 12 months, and then he can
Okay.
return. It's not going to be a permanent blacklisting.
And his 13A.
That may get that might get revoked, and then he's going to have to start over as a tourist.
Correct.
Yeah, I said he can do the tourist. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, Mark is not single, and what I'm getting at is, let's say he gets blacklisted on a good note, okay? On a good note, let's say he got blacklisted for 6 months. You're like, oh, that's not that too bad. It probably isn't. However, judging from what he shows in his videos and his lives, whatever, he cannot live. Sorry, Mark. He cannot live in the U.S. for 6 months and support his family for 6 months at the same time.
Oh, Mark already said yesterday or the day before in his live. He says he can afford to live in the U.S.
Oh, he can.
On
Like
what?
I said, he can.
He already said he's only on Social
Well,
Security and couldn't get a job back in the U.S.
realistically,
because of all the people. He
he
said that.
can live. I'm not saying it's a good life. He can live in the U.S., but like I said, he can't.
Is he going to live in the housing authority?
Well, he can't do both.
How
He
much
can't
is the
even do
housing?
housing. He can't
Right,
even do
it's
a
like
housing
3,
authority
4
because
years, right? Or HUD or
Yeah.
any of that anymore.
And like I said,
he
if he's
can't do it
single,
because he's been out of the
sorry.
country for so long. He won't qualify for it right away. He has to be,
Correct.
Right.
you can't just arrive.
Oh,
and-
he'll have to go
and-
live with his mother. That's where he went before when he packed up his beanie bears.
Yes, Sector. There's a formal complaint.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can
so,
promise you
mean,
on that one. Yeah, I'm
Shows
gonna
him
tell you
with
that right now.
Mark is gangsta.
Yeah, but
I-
here's the thing. Even though, let's say for example, there's some charges put in place, he probably really won't get jail time for that. The problem there is somebody going to escalate it to the next level and report it to the immigration? Because that's another step right there. That's a whole separate,
reveal my sources.
yeah, that's a whole different process right there. But if somebody's
Thank you,
willing,
Charlene.
if somebody's willing to, report it, then
Wonder why
you take it
Charlene
to the
weighed in
next
that
level.
much.
But like I said,
Well,
they should have just squashed it because
Right.
you never know what can come out in regards for that Dexter guy. I'm not saying what is being linked, what are things being talked about him outside in the past of what he's done or what he is doing is true, but there's also some bad things about
To spill over.
exactly. I was interviewing a lawyer yesterday and stuff like that, and so
We got so
I was
much
like,
tea, it's turning to heroin.
I was
mean-
talking to her about several of these incidents on some interesting private stuff, and so it's kind of like it's surprising what's going on. It's really surprising, like what's showing and what's going to happen.
Hey,
But-
PH Expat Prepper, you said, will immigration care about the 2 old guys slapping each other and enough to make a real deal for the 13A issue? I doubt it. PH
I
Prepper,
disagree.
now that he has an official case
I disagree.
based on this, when he goes to get his little NBI check, because you have to get a background check both times. So let's assume he's got his first part of his 13A already. When he goes in for the permanent, he's got to do it again. It will show up.
Right.
It will show up, and believe
Well-
me, they're looking.
Well, just so you guys know, again,
Just kidding.
There's more and more incidences of like problems
So-
happening with a lot of foreigners in the Philippines. So you have to understand that they're starting to seem like, okay, we're getting some bad foreigners in the Philippines. So if you think that they're not gonna waste their time on it, they're starting to look at it because it's more been prominent lately of more behaviors happening. If there's more bad behaviors happening, they will start questioning certain things. And at the very same time as, why wouldn't lawyers waste their time? It's money. And another thing that you have to look at is this, right? Any time that there's a chance of a lawyer to use something that could be potentially, how would you say, viral or something that they can use, these are the type of incidents that they can use because lawyers are always looking for that particular case that they can use, that's going to make them stand out. So because that's a lot of these lawyers that get into these things are hoping eventually maybe to get into politics or move up in level of things. So you guys have to understand this could potentially start, like I said, it's a domino effect. May this be the one? No, but it's going to make people start looking into foreigners, and you're starting to see that. Just a good example. Look at that shootout that happened with the Koreans in Cebu. I believe it was in Cebu, right? I don't know if a lot of you guys knew about that stuff where Somebody shared it with me and stuff like that, where one Korean guy was killed on a shootout with cops, and then another two of them were caught. And what these guys were doing, these Korean guys were actually robbing another Korean in a decent area. And this just happened like last week. You guys have to understand, they're starting to look into foreigners more because we're starting to see more of this. Like that's
Right.
why if you look at the cases happening that's showing up, there's more foreigners that are being caught on before they even arrive and before they even can go past the immigration. They're getting caught up now. You haven't seen this like in before. It was like every now and then you see 2 cases out of a year, 3 cases out of the years. What's happening right now is that it's starting to be more and more. And at the same time is it's starting to be covered more and more by a lot of the different news outlets. So it's unfortunate for a lot of people, even I'll say within the next year or two, but it's going to start going crazy. And then also the Philippines, you have to understand, that's why they even passed that law to making sure that vlogger starts paying the money, right? Because like I was like talking
About
about
2
earlier, there's
years
around
ago. Yeah.
500, 600 billion pesos a year. That's $10 billion a year that the government's not getting from people getting paid. Okay.
Right. Yep.
They're going to try to find any which way, the fastest way to get the money. And the fastest way is within social media people, because there's a paper trail that's there.
Yep.
They can, ask YouTube and ask TikTok to say, hey, show us
Facebook, right,
lit.
and Facebook. Yep.
So, and these companies will give it because they don't want to be, denied to be able to have access into the country. So
Yep.
it's going to start happening
And I
more
think
and
when
more.
when that nomad visa comes through, I think all that will pertain because that's what it's for, is kind of put in place about where taxes, but they're going to make them qualify heavy. Like they got to have insurance, they got to be making 3 to 4,000 a month. So there'll be qualifications
Mhm.
and then like how long they can stay and everything. So besides that, if people are living here permanently, like a lot of the vloggers are and social media people, whether they're Filipino or expats. They're saying everybody. So they're just not saying, hey, we're here to go out after expats, but because we thought we could just do that too during the pandemic. And then they're like, no, you got to register as an entire business. So you have to go through all these basics and stuff. So it's kind of
Right. And again,
Yeah.
now this part will be opinion, and then the next part I'm not going to be talking about opinion. The first part, as far as opinion goes, again, will he get deported? No, he probably won't. But when he tries to renew or anything like that, that's when the roadblock comes, and this is where
Mhm.
it becomes
He
not my
has to get an
right.
NBI check.
And this side is where I'm going to say it's not really opinion, but
And I believe the blotter will show too, won't it?
yes. Now, the thing is, like I said, is for those of some of you may or may not have worked with Philippines, but the ones that have, one thing that will stick out with most Filipinos, they follow what they're trained at, meaning they follow the rules, not necessarily the actual rules, is what they're trained of. So if a Filipino is trained in the BIR, I mean not BIR, immigration says if this guy has a record, deny him. Odds are that Filipino won't even bother. They say, "Oh, record denied." What I'm saying is
Mhm.
we're really rule sticklers. Again, not necessarily rules. It's what we're trained at, and whether or not the trainer is wrong, I'm just letting you guys know. Again, they will follow whatever they were trained at. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. If that makes any sense.
It says here, PH purposes, local P&P paper, that paperwork, he doubts it gets uploaded. I don't know about that. It's kind of
What
how
do you
the
mean?
cases all get going. Is it just a paper trail in that area? Or do they not put that into the
Oh,
system?
well, okay. Now, to be fair, that's a good point. The Philippines is not connected like the US, meaning if somebody does something in Ohio, will show up if a police
I
checks
wouldn't
it
say
on.
that.
I know that I'm again giving an example because most people won't understand what he's talking about. What I'm saying is
Like me, for
the
an
US is
example.
centralized. Everything is connected. In the Philippines, some are not, but eventually it will catch up.
I think they're catching up. Like when I went in for my background, you know how many people have my name, surprisingly, middle
Like
name
apparently
also?
Heidi is a criminal in Pangasinan. That a place she's never stepped foot on.
He said, "That's not you." I said, "Did it say Caucasian? Did it say, like, what's up? Did they say that it was a 6-foot Caucasian?" And the guy was laughing. I'm like, okay, so he made me go to an attorney and sit down and fill out a paper and bring it back. I said, "What is
Correct. No, we
really
did.
going
We have
on?"
to go to the attorney. That's what
So
I'm
I
saying.
wouldn't say it's not too
So-
connected.
Right. For example,
For-
if Heidi was looking for a job, odds are that would have never come up. But since it's for immigration, it pops up. That's what I'm getting
It
at.
depends on what they're actually
will
looking
catch
for.
up.
And the Philippines is catching up and they're starting to race ahead of some of the other countries. They say they're starting to race. I mean, maybe not like infrastructure and some other things, but they're saying that the Philippines is catching up with with Thailand, and
No, they'll catch
they're
up.
racing.
Again, I'm not trying to defend Philippines or not. It's just the way it is.
I don't know. But he's got something to worry about because local sources in that area, multiple, say that he is worried about it. And he's starting to crack. So that's my other source that
Yeah.
I got, that he is cracking. So, but I mean,
Yes, Ace says, yep, it'll show up NBI clearance and such. Yeah, again, it will eventually show up, yes. And like I said, most immigration officers in the Philippines, honestly, if I see a Filipino, let's say I'm at immigration in the US and I see a Filipino, I'm like, because if they find anything wrong, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Where Americans, I'm not talking about other nationalities, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's nothing, whatever, go ahead. You know, that kind of deal.
what did the phone call say? Because I got questions for
Oh.
Mike, and we're going to start the additional topic. Are they coming late? You could just say it, unless they said they ain't got.
Okay, they
like
don't have my
chunky monkey eye.
chocomalos. They don't have my chocomalos. They called, they didn't have my chocomalos.
George is like, I'm doing a grocery list yesterday. George goes, "Can I have some chocomalos?" And I said, "You don't have to ask for them." And he goes, "It's like
All right, for
a
those of you who
childhood
don't know
memory."
what chocomalo is, it's a cookie. There's a big, they sell a similar product in Walmart. It's a big marshmallow on a cookie dipped in chocolate. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, so they don't have it, huh?
Yes.
After all of that. All right, Mike. So, beings, we have you in the room, and we'll get this going, and we'll bring in the panel, because this is about ready to upset the panel. And I was going to show this the other day.
What's
So let
that?
me ask you, Mike, and what your thoughts are on this one. Okay.
Okay.
Which would you rather? And I
Which
need
would
reasons why. Which would
Okay.
you rather? Would you rather, okay, aside from you being taken, okay, we're just posing the question. Or
Okay.
what would you advise your guys? Would you rather date long term a single 22-year-old woman, never been married, few boyfriends? So forget how many people she dated. All
Okay.
right. Or would you rather date a woman? Okay, mind you, let me pose the reason I'm asking this. These are men that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s here. Okay.
Okay.
So remember, our friend was on the panel the other day talking about his dating situation, about the women with children and dating them too young, which is a problem for most of the guys that come here. So would you rather date a woman, that is 22, wants kids, newbie at everything, or would you rather date a woman that's in her mid 30s? Okay, both of them are beautiful, hot, and sexy. So I want to fill that in for you guys. But she's got kids and a previous spouse somewhere, or a boyfriend somewhere. So you have the woman experienced and unexperienced, but the problem comes in is a lot of guys don't want to have to go through really young girls, and they want kids. Or would you rather deal with a woman that already has kids and those problems? Because a lot of guys are facing both. So I pose this to you because a lot of guys dating, it's something they actually don't think about, but they're usually coming to date the women. I mean, forget about the third option of, you're just going to be a forever player like Ace Bachelor over there. But
Okay. Are those the only parameters? Like no other, pinpoints like education,
Right. All those, they could
Those
be,
are all equal, I guess.
yeah, everything will be equal. We're not talking, we're talking, but I would suggest that you would explain, like you would say, the different areas, but basically, I guess he can throw in that can be kind of adjusted
because
where
there's several things
you
that
would
I
give
would.
your reasons. Yeah, a
Okay,
few
there's
points
several
on
things I
that.
would look into. So if those are the only two choices, like there's no other parameters involved, whatever that we don't see, then I'll say the younger one. Okay, now, but then if we start adding parameters like education, if they both
Yes,
educated,
and where
what's
they're
the
from.
then my next question is, are they both poor? Are they both or are they middle class or whatever? That's my thing. But you
Right.
said they're all equal everywhere.
Yes, but you can throw in them parameters because evidently some guys are having hard times because a crap load, and I must say a crap load are on these dating sites. And so they're kind of open
Yeah.
to everything, but they don't want to choose. They come here, they don't want to choose. And then in the end, they end up choosing the wrong people. So let's throw in that maybe she did come from a poor family and it just kind of
If
goes
they
from
both
there.
came from a poor family, then the answer is no. None of those.
Okay.
And when I'm
But
talking
if,
about poor, if dilapidated house and stuff like that, the father's not working, the mother's not working, she's not working, whatever like that, I'll say no to both of them. Because that is a lose-lose situation. You're gonna lose
right,
with the woman with the children that's older, and you're gonna lose with the young girl as well, because it's just unfortunate, the bad situation. So the answer for me with there would be 0 for both of them. Now, if you're telling me that they're both educated, their family, are good to them, good father structure, whatever like that, then of course you're gonna, as a man, you would go for the younger one, the 22-year-old, and stuff like that. So
right. But
those are the things.
remember, she's gonna possibly want kids later. That type that wants kids. A lot of guys don't want kids though. Remember, she'd want kids.
Well, any young woman, anywhere in the world, hopefully, but even in America, with what people say that we don't have a lot of choices. The thing though is, most women who are young are gonna want to have kids and stuff like that. So that's that of course comes with that territory when you deal with a girl that young. I mean, that's why
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of foreigners that are, they'll be like, well, I don't want any more kids. And you get with yourself with a young girl and stuff like that.
Like
On a
Mark
good
is saying,
night
and never
when you're
gets
about to
fat.
fall asleep, she's gonna get pregnant by you, right? If you don't have control and stuff like that. So, and then you're stuck with a kid in an older age, which is number one is, I mean, I know a lot of guys out there who are fathers right now. And just remember when you were 25, 30 years old, maybe maximum 40, and you just had a child. Like
Right.
the stuff that even though you had your woman with you, that was some sleepless nights. That was
Yes.
that was a lot of stuff that goes on. Okay. So, it's just, you have to be able to pay attention to what happens on things. So it's like, but let's say if everything's equal in regards to no my other red flags, then I'm going to go for the younger one.
Hmm. What about you, George?
I agree with Mike because those are not exactly good parameters to work with to begin with.
Always the young. Bet
What I'm
on
saying
age.
is, no, okay, I'm not talking. Here's the thing about the age thing. I'm not
Well,
picking the girl because of the age thing. What I'm saying is,
it happens here more so because it's not
well,
going on back in the US
and
because
the
most guys would just date women their own age or just go on into a retirement home down the road.
and
Not a whole lot of them pick up, but they come here with these dreams. So I'm saying those tend to be just about the right things. A lot of them are seeing a lot of women that they want to date because they don't want to date super young women either.
Who
We had that the
the guys coming
yeah,
through?
but the conversation the other day is I don't want to date someone close to my granddaughter's age or my daughter's age and stuff. We're talking about men in their 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s where there's a 20, 30 years. So they're probably not. That's what I'm saying. You got to kind of throw in the ones that don't want to date super young ones anyway. So other things do kind of apply.
I can't fully recollect the percentages and numbers that when I did a poll about it a long time ago, about a year and a half ago, but I was saying I was, I did 2 polls, in regards for age, and um at least more than 50%, I know that enough, wanted a girl who was before she turned 25. So, if majority of the guys are wanting to be with a girl that's under 25, then you're going to get those choices. So, I mean, there's some guys out there who are maybe 60, 70, said, you know what, I just want to get myself with a 40-year-old. I'm happy for that, and I understand those guys, but by far majority, you're seeing guys coming to the Philippines wanting to be with a young woman. But the funny part is, like, what the other excuse, well, I want to be with a young woman because there's, they had less partners, they don't have kids, but for some reason all of them are getting with the young girls with the kids. So that's also funny to
Right.
me. I was like, if the person's 30, 35, you want to deal with that, she has a kid, there's a higher chance she will have kids and stuff like that. But a girl who's in her 20s,
And
early
there's some,
20s,
yeah, and there's
22,
still
and
the
she has a
young
kid.
ones with kids. So
Well,
So,
the problem you'll face here in the Philippines, which is not common in the West, is you will meet young women. I'm not saying all. I said you will meet young women who act and behave like they're single or have been single, where they have their children hidden in the province while in the city.
and they did say that it was literally just in the news that they were talking about the women between 11 and 14. There's been a rise in the teen pregnancies and stuff. And they
yeah,
do point
that's
out
been going on.
specific areas. Yes.
But it's funny that you brought that up, George, because that actually was a question I asked the lawyer. Okay, I asked the lawyer that. So you probably seen this lawyer. It's Attorney Bernice. Like, so she's known as Hey Attorney in TikTok. So she has like over like 250,000, what do you call this thing, viewers, and then she's like a daughter of a congressman. So I'm talking. I asked her that. I said, let's say for example, a guy marries a Filipina. I said, if a guy marries a Filipina, and what do you call this thing, and then because I gave her the scenario that there's a child, but she never tells him that she has a child in the province, and she didn't want to tell him because she fell in love with him. But if she tells him, he might not want to be with her, so they got married, right? And then she decides to tell him, and this happens a lot, right, George?
Yes, common. Yes.
And I said, is that a reason to be considered fraud so that you can be qualified for an annulment? And she said no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No. I knew
I
that
thought
answer.
you had to disclose all that,
I
and
knew
it
that
is.
answer. Yeah. No.
Yeah, so that's why is it considered fraud? I said because one of the parameters for annulments in the Philippines is fraud. Okay, to be qualified for annulment. She said no. And what's funny is I even asked her a particular case with a guy who never told the girl that before they get married that he had a vasectomy, and she had a pretty interesting answer.
Oh yeah, the answer is yeah.
Stevie boy. So it was so then that's the thing right there. It's like, and so for the guys who are be like, well, my girl got married, but she's gonna get an annulment. But so guys, you have to understand there's a certain parameters for an annulment to get passed. Like I was like laughing the way this lawyer explained it. She explained it so good that she says pretty much for annulment to work, things have to have happened before the marriage. Okay? But Philly, we know number 2 right now is Ace Bachelor Cool because he's,
Right, there you go.
Bachelor because he's
Cool,
Nobody can replace you, Philly. That is for sure, Brian. And people will continue to watch because you look much happier out there. We're really excited for you for sure. But nobody can replace you. They can all try to perpetrate and pretend,
Breathe that
but
fresh
you
air.
are the original.
Yeah.
And you will still rule no matter where you go. That is for sure. Okay, so let me pose the other part of our best friend, the Filipina P. She brought her little attorney friend back on and was going over the actual laws of the family and everything. And there's a specific, and I did look it up though, and it is true. But here's the thing: nobody's going to jail over this one. You would have to sue your relatives. But do you know you're responsible for half siblings siblings if your dad had an affair and all that, all the kids and
The man,
offsprings of the dad.
nope. The Filipino appeals lawyer, number one, if you watch that video, the Filipino appeals lawyer was reading on it. She was like, look at the video,
Right,
go
but
close.
there's a list of responsibilities and half
Yes, that's the
sibling, even if it's
responsibility of the
in
Filipina.
wedlock and out of wedlock.
Yeah, that's the Filipina's responsibility, not the man that marries the woman. So, like, you know, guys are like, well, she's going to be responsible. Okay, let me ask this question. Does she make income from you? Right?
Right, but we know that. We know that's not the law. But if your woman goes to court, guess who's paying in the end? Guess who's paying in the end, Mike? If George has got a bunch of kids, guess who's going to have to pay?
No. So, once again, spoke to the lawyer.
Right, but I mean, yeah.
So here's the thing, right? The way it works, it's on they can only tag the woman for what she makes. If the woman makes zero money, they cannot expect her to pay. They can only expect her to pay what she can pay. The next thing is you have to look at how many children are there. So if there's how many children, it gets divided among those children. So let's say there's 4 kids that's responsible for the mom. It's 25, 25, 25, 25 for each one of the kid. You can't say, hey, you're the one with the foreigner. You get 75% of what's needed. So this is the problem. She omitted a lot of different things. Or maybe, how about this? I'm not even going to say she omitted. Maybe because there was not good follow-up questions by the Filipina P. So number one is, if you're with the girl, okay, if I'm with this Filipina, her family sues her to be like, hey, 194, the 195, this and that, whatever. Now, if they do any of that stuff, if it does go to case, now they don't have any money already as it is. So how are they going to afford a lawyer? And what lawyer is going to jump in and be like, I'll do it for free? Lawyers in the Philippines are not big in ambulance chasing. So, but let's say they do take you to court. Okay, they're going to be like, okay, well, you owe this. All you need to do, you might pay some lawyer fees here, but you're going to go in and be like, my woman don't make any money. She's a housewife. So what money can you take from her?
That's true. And also the same as Mr. David and his brand, like killing the brand of his girlfriend's channel. Do you think the P kind of stabbed herself in one foot, being she promotes, certain things on her channel? Because a lot of guys are like, no way, I'm not going to date her, which we know probably won't happen. But a lot of them were like, well, she was actually promoting, as in she brought the attorney on to talk, bringing up that topic, not promoting. She brought that topic on about how Filipinas or Filipinos are responsible for it made a lot of guys think about dating Filipinas, and she's,
you know what? I clap on the P if a lot of guys got turned off with the Philippines.
There was a lot of against it. Like I just
let them be turned off. If that's gonna be, you see, and this is the thing, right? That's why that one thing what she said is like, listen, don't get mad at her for sharing some knowledge that actually is true. All right, it's real law. Now, if you have a better lawyer, then you can have better representation. So that's also a good example, is because her lawyer, hey, she passed the bar. I'm not saying she's a bad lawyer or a good lawyer or whatever that way, but there was a few things that wasn't truly explained. Now,
right,
for the guys that are going to get turned off by that, you know what that means to me? Those are the guys that wants to find poor Filipinas.
Right.
Yep.
That's all that it means.
Yeah.
They're like, damn it, these poor Filipinas are going to, I thought I was going to get a discount on the Filipina, and oh my God, I might take advantage of it in the end. That's all that it means. And if you get turned off by one, it's like one guy explaining, I think that Philip Cardinal guy, he goes, there's this one guy who I spoke to who was handicapped, and because what happened over there with Mark and Dexter, now he doesn't want to come to the Philippines anymore. That's your excuse why you don't want to come to the Philippines? Because you saw 2 guys get at it, and one of them is supposed to be handicapped.
That was the deal break. That was the deal breaker.
Yeah, one thing that I know that on anything when it comes to sales and marketing, there's never just one reason why you say no. there's multiple reasons and a minimum of 3. So what that is that there's other things that's involved as well. So, in the end, it's like, okay, if you're gonna use it as an excuse, then let me just go ahead and don't forget the Bawal Bastos law 113.13. Don't forget the 147.1 of 48. With the cohabitation law. Let's not forget about the 9262 VAUSI, Violence Against Women's and Children's Act. Let's just use all those with the different laws that exist in the Philippines that you should actually whatever. I think that I'm glad she made that video. I'm glad that she did not.
I'm just bringing up the topic because already several channels, including some out of the U.S., have covered her video already.
Good.
And
Let
I
them
think
be
it's
scared.
good to actually know, but I wouldn't say that it doesn't exist. Like some people are saying, "Oh, that's not true," but no, actually it is. But you just want to check everything out for sure. But no, it was a good video. So
it's even in the Passport Bro communities. I mean, I'm seeing it in Passport Bro channels. I'm even seeing it in Passport Bro Facebook groups, and I'm laughing. And there's guys that was asking me, "Hey, Michael, are you gonna make a video about this?" And I did in the Discord. I said, there's a lot of things that was not explained correctly. There was a lot of things that was not that was not shared. And so they're like, "You can make a video about this." And I'm like, in my head, no. Why?
Right.
Because why should I say that the Filipina P is missing some information on a good information that's going to make people who are basic guys going for the, disadvantaged people, let them get turned off. Let them go. Let them get slaughtered.
They're basic.
Our dog is just basic.
Well,
That's my Chihuahua.
Actually,
that is no Chihuahua.
It's a Chihuahua,
No,
Mike.
That dog is the opposite of basic, baby.
What
That's
is
a
she, Mike?
Mescal.
It's
Oh,
not.
dang, you got
It is
called,
not.
kid. You got called.
It
kid.
is
Look at-
not. It's a Chihuahua.
Okay, go do the DNA test. I bet you they're probably gonna say it's like 1% Chihuahua.
But look at her tail.
So
Well,
See, it's curled up.
So there's a lot of dogs with curled tails. I'm just saying. And it doesn't bark like a Chihuahua. It's like it doesn't bark like that.
Actually,
I'm just saying.
actually,
I haven't heard it
does.
bark.
She's a drama queen. We have
Okay, put your finger in its mouth.
Go ahead.
Right there. See, not a Chihuahua. It would have been in you by now.
Oh, that's okay. If you we have this little styrofoam thing. If you do it, she snaps at the styrofoam stick and she tries to bite me.
If you beat her toy, her little
we don't smack
she has,
her
she
when
has
she
a
does
stuffed
something.
pig. If
And
we
so I
her
beat the toy to make her listen.
She'll defend it. She'll bark and bite. It's really cute.
Yeah,
and,
so we don't punish her. We show her what the punishment can be, like I did the kids. Never mind. Anyways,
We can cook. Don't worry, we can
This
cook
is-
that dog later on. Make a good caldereta.
yeah, now's the best time when the meat is still tender. Yes, I agree.
Monkey, I know nobody loves you. I know.
Yeah, but the video
You're
that
not
she
a mutt
had,
like your
I think
dad.
that and so here's the thing, right? So me saying that it's missing some information, yes. Was it omitted? Was it not asked on? Was it omitted because they didn't want to ask the questions? I don't know. It's just
or
because
maybe intentional.
no, I
Just
can't
to
really
get
say
people to
intentional.
talk.
I just think that the lawyer was reading too much, and so she wasn't fully displaying what really articulating or translating. Because just listen to what the lawyer was saying. The lawyer was literally reading what was listed. So if you look at the 194 and the 195, whenever she's saying something about it, it's the same exact word per word, line by line, pretty much on what it was.
Yeah.
So she was talking lawyer jargon without translating it on layman's terms, which I think is one of the biggest mistakes that she's done. So the thing though is, I think just like anything else, it's good information, and guys be bitching. Instead of bitching, why don't you go either speak to a lawyer, or you go ahead and actually look it up yourself and read it fully so you can truly understand it.
Or just ignore all the laws when you come to the Philippines.
And that's the thing, you know, and you know, a lot of foreigners think that there's some tourists in the Philippines
No,
that
you
comes because
have to
I've
know.
heard this, I've
Whether
heard guys say this, and I've had confirmation from other people that guys have told them that same thing, where they think that the laws in the Philippines don't apply to them because they're tourists.
right. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
up to them to do their due diligence, like any country.
Mhm,
Oh, like the ones
exactly.
in Thailand, like the ones that get in the fights and stuff. Do you see the Canadian that was taken away on the back of a Thai truck? Call the Canadian embassy.
No,
'Cause
I
he's
didn't see
being
it.
taken away. I'm a Canadian. They're like,
You
what
know,
the hell? You're screwed, man.
I was reading an article. This is like maybe about 5 years ago that Thailand has the highest rate of self unaliving of tourists.
Oh, well,
Wow.
is that one night in Bangkok thing?
Well, it's
I don't know, but it's the highest. It was the highest in Asia where a self unaliving
Off ski,
of
yeah, off
tourists.
ski.
in all fairness, is this a David Carradine thing? I mean, just asking.
That's one night in Bangkok. I said,
Maybe
what?
some of them choked on a ping pong. Maybe some of them choked on a rope in their door and stuff like that. I don't know, whichever.
Or biting on a
Whichever
wet
happens.
mattress, a wet mattress inside of a shower, along with a rope, along with some baby oil, a couple chickens, and a dog.
Somebody got
Oh,
some of them
sorry.
got choked like Meek Mill by P Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stop, won't
Oh,
stop.
I like that one, Leo. Self delete.
Self delete. There it
Self-delete.
is.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's just pretty crazy.
David
Goes on,
Carradine.
but I mean, like, listen,
I'll
I think that
contact your daddy. We won't tell baby Rogan and Mark. No, I know you look like your daddy. You do. Don't let them talk about your daddy like that. I know.
and I think that's funny. Buckla 37 was like saying, but what about all the freaking Koreans spoiling everything? I don't think Koreans are spoiling everything. I think, you know, I lump all the foreigners in one. Like foreigners are foreigners, right? It's either you're an alien in the country or you're a local.
Get her stick.
So
Go get the stick, babe.
Koreans spit everywhere and smoke ciggies like most people breathe air. Number one, Koreans are normally not those. I don't think you know how to change how to look between a Chinese and a Korean. Chinese people do spit everywhere. I'll tell you that. They spit inside McDonald's at times too. But that's just a China thing. If you've been to China and everything like that, that's just a normal
Yeah,
thing.
no, I'm.
So I think you're you know you're mislabeling because that's typically the Chinese that does that, not the Koreans.
They all look Asian to me, Mike.
I'm just saying, like, you know,
Well,
Bakla.
like in all fairness, most non-Asians
I just mind my
can't
business.
distinguish the other Asians.
No,
I
it's.
mean, just saying. From my experience.
At first, I couldn't. I ain't even trying to be funny. When I entered a country of a bunch of different Asians, to me, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's what it seemed. I
Yeah.
didn't try to distinguish. Now I can
You
because
just did a rice is rice joke. Rice is rice.
that's right.
Right.
That's right. I said, yep. Because George says, stop saying that we look like the Mexicans of Asia. I
Like,
said, sorry.
It's like but see, here's the thing, right?
But it's the
You can't
Spanish
call
percent.
Filipinos Mexicans of Asia because Mexicans are just Mexicans. Filipinos, like, where do Mexicans go to be illegals? Just America. Now,
Right.
where do Filipinos go to become illegals? Everywhere.
Well, yeah, no. What George knows what I'm talking about is because we lived in near the indigenous Mexican people for 6 months in the mountains, and they have the same round faces and have the. That's why I just mean they have the Spanish descent. Oh.
Yeah, but Koreans are not spoiling everything in the Philippines. I don't know what
No,
you're
they're
talking
not,
about
guys.
there. But I mean, you know, I think it's just all foreigners are should be lumped all in one because eventually if there's more and more foreigners do bad things in general, then more laws are going to get enacted and more laws are going to be applied or more laws are going to be more likely enforced because there's laws out there that would prevent a lot of these people from enacting. I think it's more of it's just people are gonna start acting up on it, and
Right. And also
then it'll be
remember,
fun.
You mean I can act a fool, Mike?
no.
Oh, damn.
Well, remember, Filipinos are Asian, and what I'm saying is the reason why I mentioned that is because we can tell where most Asians are from.
There's your friend.
And what I'm saying is Filipinos were like, oh, that's the in chick, which means China, okay, and then oh, Korean, which means obviously Korean. What I'm saying is they're not gonna lump all the they're not gonna lump the Caucasians with those Asians, if that makes any sense. However, the only time that line gets blurred is because again, Asians can tell Asians, right? But a lot of Asians can't tell Caucasians.
Yeah.
You just
And
now who's just being a racist.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about most people. Most Asians can tell
Well,
Asians,
that's what I
but
mean. To
Caucasians
me,
can tell Caucasians. And what I'm saying is that's when it affects expats because at this point, there are, I'm not saying all, some Filipinos who can't distinguish Australians and, Americans and Canadians. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't say Koreans are ruining it because trust me, Filipinos will like, oh, those are the Koreans.
so do you really lose me in a mall in America?
Yes. Like Heidi, where are you?
I seriously lost George forever when we first got here. But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, but like I said, remember most Filipinos again, they don't mean it any disrespect.
No.
If you're from a different country other than America, there's a lot of them that say, "Oh, yung Americano," which means the American, which again,
Well, I guess it's just from being in Asia now or something. Because, like I said, now I can kind of tell. I can't tell a Korean from a Chinese or anything. You can, but I can. It shouldn't make a difference, but but like I said, when I first got here, everybody just looked Asian. But the
No,
only
I
reason I
gotcha.
could distinguish after a few months is because of the Spanish or the Spaniard part of the Filipinos. So I shouldn't. George said, "Stop saying we're the Mexicans." I said, "It's only because I came from Mexico, and a lot of the women, some of the women look the same, but beautiful." I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Similar.
Similar. But yeah, it's not a bad thing. But now I can, but I can't tell some of the other nationalities. But I guess it doesn't make a difference. So anyway, oh Lord, maybe David will come in the room. Calling all John, calling all Johns, calling all players.
Is that a thing?
What's that? All players or Ace?
No, Bakla says, "Where's the Chinaman pooping on the beach in Boracay?"
Oh,
I think
do that.
somebody made a comment earlier about they saw one. Maybe I think.
Yeah, that's.
Like kids in a swimming pool, huh?
Damn Snicker bars in the pool.
I mean, it's possible that they let out the shark in the water, not
Yes.
necessarily the beach.
Oh my God.
Some do, even in the U.S.
I wish they would have had that. Is that a new thing where, did they have that chemical back in the day in the 70s and
What?
80s where the pool would turn colors, or that's just new?
Oh,
That
Barely
just
in the
came-
last couple years.
That just came out in like mid 2000s. I think
Okay.
it was
So it's like,
where
I
it
wish we
became
would
more
have had that
commercial.
at
where it
summer
became more
camp and all
commercial.
that. I was like, my mom's like, when you go to summer camp, keep your mouth closed in the swimming pool. Okay, Mom, thanks for the advice. Got any condoms?
I was like, what can you do? People pee in the pool. That's
Right.
just what happens.
Yeah.
well, you're just adding ammonia to the water. Just saying.
I mean, I don't pee in my pool, but I do pee in other people's pools if I
What?
don't want to get out. I'm just saying. Let's just
Hey,
be
Mike,
honest.
did you hear us? Hey, did you hear us talk about the toy that we got for the grandbaby and gave to his daughter
It was in
yesterday?
Chinese or something like that. It was in
Yeah.
Chinese?
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, okay, well, our other grandchild in the US, he's been speaking Mandarin for a while. And George goes, Alicia, are
Well,
you ready for
was
the
it cheap?
invasion?
Was it cheap?
Hey, George is not cheap.
Okay. Was the toy cheap for
Oh,
what it was?
Fairly, yes.
Well,
Okay, you got it's like you sometimes you buy something from like you get something
it's a couple days' wages. So, I mean,
a couple
here.
days wages for whom?
Filipino.
a Filipino.
That's
Filipino.
cheap. Okay, so because
Bite
like
me.
sometimes if you order something from Temu or you order from something from Alibaba, order something from what was the
Yeah,
other one where I used to
Alibaba.
order stuff? Wish and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And he-
Timu
and
and
it-
Wish.
And
You
then
know
it
what's
arrived.
cheap, Mike? Don't
What?
talk about my cheap toy. I'm gonna talk about your cheap haircut.
Oh yeah, I got a cheap haircut. It's
I'm
pretty,
joking.
I went to my last haircut. I went to Sports Clips, and I hate that place. The damn barber was not home. He was on
Oh,
vacation.
jeez. That's like George. How much was your last haircut? Cheapskate. He's like, I don't want to get it cut in the mall because we're supposed to head to the mall tomorrow. What was your last haircut? 70, 80 pesos, 100 with the tip?
Well, it went up now, and now it's 100.
Oh, jeez. $2
Yeah, like,
there, Mike.
like I miss my old like. There's like well, they're stylists. They're considered stylists because they're not barbers, but they cater to men. And this was in Arizona. And I used to love this place. It was called Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Not Mary Jane. It was called what was it? Jane?
Oh, damn. Thanks, Mike.
But it was like it always reminded me. Oh, Lady Jane, because it was reminding me of GI Joe all the time. So it's called Lady Jane, and I know they even had one in Chicago when I moved back to Chicago. And it's these girls that be dressing like really like sexy and stuff like that, boobs hanging out, especially in Arizona. And they would cut your hair, massage you, and everything. And then when you're waiting, they had PlayStation, a pool table, you
Oh,
know.
snap.
And I was like, you know what, that type of a place in the Philippines would probably make money.
Probably.
Oh yeah, well, they still have like what was that? Computer shops here where kids come play Roblox or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, those were good stuff.
yeah.
The good days.
No, actually, this is actually true. Nietzsche says I had a friend who was stationed in Subic in the 90s and went to a village where they served monkey brains. Yes, don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
you-
is.
I've had monkey brains. Just go to not recto. You go to Ungpin. You have this little table, and then there's these little holes, and then they pop the monkey heads in there,
Yes,
and
here in the
then
Philippines?
yes.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
own a pet monkey.
Don't
I
do
can't
it.
own a pet monkey here, but they're going to serve monkey brains, huh?
No, I had a pet monkey in the Philippines. And then what
Ah.
they do is they chop the top off while it's still alive.
Yes.
And I had it when I was a kid. My dad fed it to me. It was fun.
Well, for health.
And then the reason why I did it was because we just watched what do you call this thing, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and I was like, let's do this. Ooh, monkey brain.
Yeah, and yeah. I thought there was no monkeys.
What? There are. You're not allowed to own monkeys legally.
No,
Not legally anyway.
Just people won't know. I mean, like my uncle owned a
It's a
Philippine eagle once. It was in his backyard.
Well, no, I get that, but you know that I'd have to like take mine all over the place in baby clothes. My light person, he'll be holding the light like that's my kid. No, ma'am, that looks like a monkey. No, that's my kid.
Yeah, just go
No.
to just go to Ongpin. If you wanna try it, I mean, you can go to
It doesn't-
Ongpin. It's still there.
It
Because
doesn't taste
the
like
reason
chicken
why
breast.
I remember when it was there as of 2018. So because I remember I was like I asked my what's the name of the place, and and then he's like, okay, just go there, and it was still there then. I would guess it's still there. But the thing goes with that, it's not advertised outside. You just have to go in and order. It's like one of those secret menus.
Right. You're not going to. Yeah.
Mhm. It's fun.
Monkey brains. So what you doing for the rest of the let's see, midnight? Which after midnight.
We're going
gonna
to
let
we're going to
it
Denny's around 1.
Oh snap.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Denny's.
We got groceries coming in later and we got the cable guy coming over.
Actually, you already called.
Oh, did he? Well,
Yeah.
what he said?
He's waiting on my phone call right now
Oh, really?
to
So
fix our internet issues. As you guys see, we had a spin out
I'm
earlier.
I'm so tired. It'd be
Yeah.
like the third router that we've had. So, and we've
You
even
know-
got a direct, cable, and it's still.
No,
but
we're hardwired
it's
with a
better
Cat
than-
5.
it's better than Mexico though, and it's better than it was a few years ago. But yeah. But I think we will wrap this up, guys. We just wanted to cover this new Mark thing, and he's
You
wish
know,
him all the best with that baby.
I don't. I mean, with the baby, sure, health and wealth and happiness. But
Yes.
I think that it's great if he gets. I think it's going to be great if he gets blacklisted. I'm actually pro for it that he gets blacklisted. And the reason why I'm saying I'm pro for it is because he's prominent. If people know him, people have seen him, it becomes a conversation. And at the very same time as with that stated, then there's going to be more guys that's going to be watching themselves and behaving a little bit better. Just for now.
Right. An
This will buy
example. I
time.
think we initially said an example. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
However, in all fairness, to Mark, it can still be snipped and it can still be stopped. What I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that they filed. Doesn't mean it's going to go through. They could still
Maybe
retract.
even a public apology, and
You know what I'm saying? They can
which I don't
still.
think will
No,
help.
I think
They can
it's
still
I think
settle
it's
it
too
out of
late.
court. You think
Yeah,
so?
I think it's too late for public
Well,
apology.
and he kept the video up. I mean, where's he at? About not. I mean, no jealousy intended, but the video just continued to grow, and he still left it up even after some people had advised him on the side. He still kept it up.
Yeah.
So,
And so the thing goes, if he projects which he did, he projected that it was the other people's fault, this and that, never claimed any
Yeah.
accountability on his doing things and stuff like that. That's just like that auditor guy who got caught up, I think in Nevada and stuff like that. He was like a known auditor where he videotapes cops and stuff like that, and he would like aggressively videotape cops, call them pigs, call them this, call them that, and then he got arrested and stuff like that. And then he thinks like the prosecutor was just trying to give him probation. The judge was like, nope, 180 days in jail. And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
he was crying in the courtroom and stuff like that. And it's just like, you're making money off of this
Like
stuff.
Johnny Somalia. Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing, right? This might not have been taken to the next level if it wasn't for the fact that he is technically somebody in this niche. Like, this would have probably been, forget it. I don't know the guy, this and that. It would probably been like, you know what? Let's just have a conversation. It's done. But what happened was it became publicized, and also at the same time, he is considered a higher status than and maybe I'm according to a lot of people that this guy tries to make other guys know that he's better than them sometimes, the way he acts. So, I think that
Punch your eye out.
that you can even say his popularity or maybe him being known more affected the whole situation.
Right.
So,
Right. And also, again, like selling the realtor, again, that's another thing that Mark should know better not to do. The reason being is Mark Turner should be denied service unanimously throughout the business circle in Duma. What I'm getting at is, I'm pretty sure there's
It's
businesses
already.
that are out there that by default, because of people know people in the Philippines, and I'm sure there's businesses out there. No, he's not allowed in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all of them, but as a general rule, Filipinos do say like, oh, you know what? This guy did this. He shouldn't be here.
All I know is a lot of people have made statements that he's a real asshole in town. They're even surprised he's still in town.
Well,
And I
but I
told
guess
George, I said, I get it.
But you know what though? He's got street cred, so he can fight the same age guy that he's in, right? So he's got some street cred. It's gonna make other guys think twice, because how many guys in the world has actually been in a street fight or whatever like that? Like most guys, it's the percentage is very, very smaller than the majority. So there's some of these guys who'll be like, well, I guess I won't really mess with them.
Well,
But
I won't say he can fight. He will fight. I wouldn't say he can fight.
He can gouge people's eyes off. Okay, he did a karate kick and then a punch at the same time. He did,
which is a sign of an amateur.
Yeah, but at the same time, he got combos. He's like kick, punch, push, gouge.
Well, no. Let's do this. Okay, let's break it down. It was kick, punch combo, punch, fall by himself, then gouge his eyes.
That was my favorite part when he fell off the stairs.
Yeah,
and before he went out the door, he did this. Get your hands off of me. That was my favorite sissy move.
But the thing is,
I called him
not a lot of guys would not take it to the next level and pull a punch. So I'll let him have that. right? But at the very same
Yeah.
time as he let the hands goes, now he could potentially be kicked out. And then I think somebody brought up a thing. What if he becomes persona non grata? AJ brought it up. I'm like, yeah, that could be done also after all this. Because if he doesn't get a persona non grata, he's gonna have to leave.
You have to move to Manila.
Yeah, just imagine the amount of money he has to spend with his move now, because it's a lot expensive. Because Duma's a small area. He's not he can't. Valencia is still close by within that persona non grata area. So
Yep.
he's gonna have to go to Cebu. That's gonna cost him a lot of money
Hey.
with all those boxes.
I just thought about he can go move in Sunshine Shoulders place. He
Yeah,
can
that's far.
subscribe to Sunshine Shoulders.
That's far enough. Yeah, so San Carlos is far enough because that's up north. That's far enough for it to be within the but when you become persona non grata, I think it's like 14 kilometers. I think it was 14.5 kilometers.
Oh, there's an actual radius.
Yeah. There's a radius.
Usually, yeah, and then.
And the only reason why I know there's a radius because I would guess it's going to be the same thing as being considered as disterio. Like if you get if you get caught for concubinage and stuff like that. So it's almost similar. So I would say that it'll probably be that same line.
All right, Mike,
and that's where I'm getting the number from is from if you get a disterio charge.
Yeah, which province are you not?
Well, is her family from that area? Will she be ready to go?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to send a message to Calvin and see if he's willing to take him in if something happens. So
He's got an extra room.
Yep. So that would be interesting. So
he's got an extra room. But I think it's a fun study.
Yeah.
I actually was telling the lawyer that I was interviewing about it, and she's like, I want to. So I sent her over the things that's happening, and she was like, "Wow, I'm not." And so it's pretty interesting, all the things they said. Oh, and by the way, for the guys that may not watch the video of my interview because it's a 5-part series, guys,
I'm sorry?
Consensual age is 18. No. Marriage is 18. Confirmed by a lawyer. So this BS that some of you guys are like, no, it's 16. No,
it's 18.
No, consent is 12. It's 18.
Right.
And you're going to hear from an actual lawyer, a real lawyer who's actually also even the daughter of a congressman. So I'm sorry.
The groceries not paid, right? Yeah.
So I hate to burst the people's bubbles. It's 18.
Well, and also understand we were scrambling for a marriage certificate when we went in. If the person's under 21, there are other requirements. You can marry, but there are other requirements. Yes.
Parents' approval and everything. If you're 18 to 21.
Yeah. So there are some others, but yes, it's 18 for sure. So.
And then for some of you guys that says 17 is when you first started talking, but then you didn't touch her or you didn't marry her till she was 18 or you didn't see her till she was 18, you can still be charged for grooming. And it doesn't have to be the girl that charges you. It doesn't have to be the parents that charges you. It could be any person that puts an accusation that you're grooming. According to a lawyer.
Yeah.
And there goes my grooming dreams. They're gone.
Damn it.
Dang it.
But I can still groom you every day.
Yeah.
Would you like an extra coat of mink oil today?
I was going to pull an Abraham and get a Sarah.
A what?
Nothing.
An Abraham?
Yes.
Sarah. How about Abraham Lincoln?
No, you get like a yaya and then you father a child with them.
I thought that was your long-term retirement plan here.
That's the regular guy routine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's our plan too, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike, for popping my bubble.
That way I get a housekeeper and
yeah, it's all in one. Man. We got a housekeeper and
a nurse.
And
he's gonna take on 3 at once.
Exactly.
Mike, the 50s called. They want their hairstyle back. Oh, hey, listen, pompadours are still awesome, buddy. I mean, my thing. I want to see your hair. I mean, pompadours are in. I'm sorry. Go ahead, and look into. Pompadours are in.
All right. If you guys haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And if not, we're going to send you the puppy and the neutered cat in the mail. What is that? It's like romper room in here now.
Right.
Oh,
Not
by the way,
Fonzie,
when they
it's
got
Gumby.
on Mango here, we call him Mango Peach now because his back end looks like a half-eaten peach. We got the cat neutered a few days ago, and they
Oh.
don't
They
totally.
leave a nub.
There's like it's like
Did you guys put the fake balls in it? Wait, neutered. No, neutered is a spade. Neutered
it's
is
a
for dog
boy.
for male, spade is for girls, right?
Right.
You're
correct.
right.
So did
They
you guys
got
put a
fake
temporary?
nuts.
The fake nuts.
Well,
yeah.
we had a comb, but we got like this spray that's mostly iodine, and he doesn't want to lick anyways because it's got something in it. So we had a pillow and a
Mm.
cone. He got them both off within a second. He's pretty rough, but they did offer though, okay, within the cost, they were going to tattoo him or they wanted to take a chunk of his ear out.
Yeah, they want to notch or tattoo him. And like, so you know he's been neutered. Where I'm like, I said,
He's got a
no, thank you.
half-eaten
But in
peach
my
looking
head,
on
I'm
the.
like, are you kidding me right now?
He's got like this little nub like George has got right on the back end that looks half-eaten like a half-eaten peach. So I call him Mango Peach now because it's kind of creepy looking. It's even starting to turn colors.
Mhm.
Well, never mind. Let's not go into that. Make everybody uncomfortable. But it almost looks like they put a rubber band on it or something. But that's the way it's
That's
supposed
interesting.
to. So
You know, I mean, too many
It's
cats in the Philippines.
well, I told George, I said, we got a bunch of them run around in the yard. And I said, why don't we just start doing one at a time? And then, like George said, well, first off, they got to be healthy when they go in. The ones running the street are not exactly the healthiest. And
Like
we
I don't
can't
think
keep them.
I don't think the cats should be neutered. Like not the male dogs. I think the females need to be spayed.
Yeah.
I think that'll be easier for slowing down the population. Find all the females and spay them.
We're going to spay you.
That's so sounds.
Spay
so
all the
much
females.
just
You know,
there.
you neuter one
Sounds-
male, right? You
Excess.
still have the female. I say neuter all,
Well-
spayed all the females.
Somebody gave the example. I forgot where this came up, but somebody left a comment in the comment section. They leave a lot of love for you in our comment section, by the way.
Do they?
Yeah. And so it was said, well, oh, it was over our boy that's neutered, but said he's not neutered and he's leading on the
Okay.
young girl about kids, right? And they said, well, why does it why about the hysterectomy or something and going on about hysterectomies? Why don't the women just get the hysterectomies instead? It's the same thing. And I was like, oh, fair game on that one. So,
Well, in all fairness, we're talking about.
or you can do the third part like the guy in Thailand does, shove a pill down her throat.
Well, to be fair, technically women don't need to get hysterectomies because eventually you guys are gonna hit menopause. Same stuff already as it is. Guys are the ones can technically you can milk a guy on his deathbed and that sperm can still go ahead and make babies. So
Yeah.
That's exciting to see.
yeah,
Reminds me of my previous relationship. Thank you.
so that you can have like a guy in his deathbed in his 80s and stuff like that, and you'd be
Anna
like
Nicole.
powder and stuff like that coming out and stuff like that, but that powder particle might still make a baby, man. Right? But there's like some X and Y chromosomes and something.
Well, I
like
guess
that.
he was just like really exaggerating out there about, it's the same thing. And like I said, you got Plan B,
Mhm.
literally Plan B.
Well,
Well, see, the thing, there's a lot of guys that promotes those kind of things. I laugh, and
Plan C.
Plan B and stuff like that. Abortion and all that stuff, because I hear that a lot. Where a lot of guys keep on saying that they should approve Plan B in the Philippines. They should approve, abortion in the Philippines. All that stuff. Like, if you understand the basic stuff that guys, when women's on the pill, and this is actual studies, you guys can look it up. Women in the pill are more attracted to more feminine men. And that's why majority of the cheating that women do happens the moment they get taken off the pill.
Huh.
Because what happens is when they get taken off the pill, what happens? Their body's like, oh, we can make babies now. And so what happens is the woman's inner self starts looking for an alpha male, more features. So women who are in the pill are attracted to men with rounder faces, calmer looks, where women's who are off the pill are more than likely going to be more attracted to the more alpha features. It's a real study.
You just
It truly
you just
exists.
attract all the women, don't you, George?
So that's where people need to understand. And then if you promote abortion, if you promote it as what do you call plan Bs and stuff like that, promote divorce and stuff like that, then that means you are a complete tool of the feminist movement, of the toxic feminist movement, because those were all used by that. So I mean, I'm just saying, don't you don't want the you want the good Filipinas, right? But then you want the Philippines to be like America. Yeah, I know, Niche. It's like Dr. Phil again, but at the same time, Niche is look it up because those are real studies.
Hey, they were talking about Mark Thornton in there, and I stood there and I told George, I said, I know the way I feel here in the Philippines. I know my attitude here. I said, I know that's going on with old Mark Thornton, because a bunch of people, we have these side people talking and doom-a-getting. I said, yeah, that's probably about right. I said, I'm an American living here. I know how we act, Some of us do act a fool here, But I was like, yeah, I know that. George says, yeah, that's because, believe me, I get called a so-and-so a couple times a week. So, but yeah, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. And they want to be laying on that beach, but in the air conditioning situation.
Yeah, but let's be fair. Majority of these foreigners are not living by the beach.
Yes.
Nope. Yep.
Because
they may not even get to sip. Hey, they may not even get to sip that water either.
That's the thing. It's like, the fun part with the whole thing is that they don't even live in the beach. And if they don't live in the beach, it's like, because they know that if they did live in the beach, it was going to cost them more. Right. So, it's like people just need to understand the truth on how things goes. So it's like, and if they did live in the beaches, it's in the really bad areas. So it's like, I mean, come on, just enjoy yourself in the Philippines. I think that's the fun part.
Yeah. Somebody did make that good comment. It's like all of this and whatever, and you just need to retire and enjoy yourself,
Enjoy.
And guys really should take their times when they get here. But I don't know how many I've seen them get here, rush in. Within 6 months to a year, they end up marrying up and choosing the wrong girl. A few of our viewers, they've been 3 women into a situation before.
And that's fine. You're gonna have to go through some of the crappy people before you find your potential mate. It happens both for men and women anyways and stuff like that. So, let them be and that stuff. That's just part of it. I mean, I don't think you should marry the first girl, I'm not saying it's always going to be that way, that the first girl is the bad one. I'm just saying is that by far majority, most guys should not get with their first Filipina.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And I've dated lots of good Filipinas, good ones. That doesn't mean that all of them are going to be, was fully marriage material and stuff like that. So it's like, just like anything else, just, be smart about it.
Stone Feather said when you're getting old, time is running out. And I think that's another thing is guys either have health issues or I think they've been watching stateside for so long or over there in the United States that they do. And they just got to understand that rushing is not going to be the answer either. And being super cheap is not going to work either. So.
And when you deal with cheap girls,
Yep, there it is. Say it, Mike. Say it, Mike.
If you get them for a discount, forget it. If you get them in the ground, if you get them in the floor, if you get them in the soil, okay, what do you think you're going to get? Right? You can even use the term Filipinos like to use, hampas lupa ka lang. You're just something that gets hit on the floor. And if you deal with these type of women, then you're gonna get what you deserve. Some of these guys think that Filipinas are this, Filipinas are that. Yes, right. Those good Filipinas are, we can say, Louis Vuittons. But then you get to the Philippines and you actually want the one from the swap meet. So it's like, or you want Walmart prices for Louis Vuitton bags. Like, don't make the most. And if you're happy with your Target bag, you be like, yo, I got me a Target bag.
A Walmart plastic bag carrying things around.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Gotta watch it.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up because, like I said, you still haven't called the cable guy back either, which means we'll probably miss him. So we do appreciate you dropping in, Mike.
No
As
problem. I'm gonna go
always,
ahead to
thank you.
Denny's right now. Get myself
Oh
All
man,
right.
sweet.
get myself some of those what do you call those round things? The puppies? Hash not no
Hush
whatever.
puppies.
Hush puppies,
Hush
but like the
puppies.
blueberry hush puppies. All right, guys.
Oh, they do.
Later.
That's right. They had, but I don't think they have them here. But they did, yeah, before we left. So
Mhm.
sweet. But thank you so much, Mike.
Peace.
Appreciate
Thank you, Mike.
it.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Bruce Davis. Thank
Thank
for
you
being here.
guys for dropping in. Hey, we had Barry and the PI in there. Mish was in the house. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And thank you to our members that dropped in the room. Ted and Scott was in here.
Okay,
Sarah
so
was
much,
in
Kay
here.
Dallas. Appreciate it so much.
Kay Dallas, thank you so much
Kay
for the
Dallas.
super chat. AJ Big Papa Travels is in here. Bruce, we said actually appeared. Who else do we have in there?
Chicano, AJ.
Brian was in here, Philly
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
Philly in the
Philippines.
Philippines.
Check
Brian
out
was
his
here.
channel. I'm sure most of you
Yeah.
guys are watching, but if not, it's really a good channel.
Yeah, Simple Man's Journey. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. Oh, Cedric Edwards was here too. Cedric.
Yeah.
And of course, Ted. Of course, thank you so much, Ted. I appreciate you, man.
See, did I?
Yeah, Buckla 37 is here too.
Stone
One
Feather,
Star
Barry
Flag.
and the PI. Hey, Barry.
Yeah, Ace Portgas was here too.
Yeah, kind of going because
Yeah.
we can't see the full chat.
Yeah.
Once, like I went out, Simple Man was in there.
Yeah.
Leroy Beloy, Two Pauls was in the house. Chosen One, thank you, Ted. If we
Yes,
didn't
Chosen
mention
One. Thank you so
Ted,
much.
Scott,
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Tony Manning, Big Dave, Hector Goobot, Bruce. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. We'll see you on Spill the Tea Saturday. We'll throw a bunch of stuff together. What's going on? The lowdowns all around all the town, all around town. And which is Friday for the United States. It'll be Friday night, but it's actually Saturday in the Philippines, Saturday morning. Thank you guys. God bless and take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Like, share, subscribe.